No matter how we fight of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal.
Welcome back, everybody, to the VCS, where it is easy to predict who is going to win a game. We always know before they happen. Of course. I'm just kidding. This is the VCS, where form doesn't matter and the winners are made up. My name is Everyday, and I am here to present to you some VCS action in the English language. With me, as always, is Yulwei and Vinnie. The first series was a weird one for sure, but will we return to normalcy in this second one as Cerberus takes on the 𝗕𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗹? Or is the weirdness going to continue?
We are going to return to normalcy, in my opinion.
Okay.
Cerberus is 10-0 so far. They looked a little bit weird yesterday, but against a pretty good team. And they are today not playing against a good team. So, yeah, it's a long shot for 𝗕𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗹. They've been looking like the second worst team in the league, and I don't think that's going to change against the best team today.
No, I agree.
I think
it's rough for.
I think you're looking at that bot difference, and you're like, that's gonna be tough to overcome if you're Buffalo. Hasmed can, of course, do his weird 1v9 shenanigans. He's a great player, but that's their only real hope, and I don't think that's gonna be enough.
I think Cerberus is trying out different players, if I recognize faces correctly. I think Artemis is not in.
Come on. Why do we ever predict 2-0s? So, teams just are trying anything. What are you, Cerberus, you don't need to experiment. You've got your best 5. If you want to train rookies, send them to puppies. You've got an academy team.
I mean, this series, though, is probably the one they can experiment in, right?
True,
they still have a strong top side.
I'd like to see them go completely undefeated.
You're just salty because Artemis is in your team, to be fair.
Okay, I hadn't even thought about that.
I'm confused because I thought their only, rookie on the main team was, sub on the main teim was Pun.
Yeah.
Which, LL for Pun, I still think you could maybe throw that in, but I don't know why you'd look to replace Artemis unless this is punishment for how badly he did in the percent series.
He ran it down big time yesterday. That was some exquisite int.
I mean, despite that, you say he had some exquisite int, but if we look at the current stream, he still has the second highest KDA in the league. So he inted a series and is still at a 10.3 KDA.
Fair enough. His team's also 10-0, so
it's true.
You know,
you're not wrong, but still, it is very, very impressive from Artemis. It would be weird to see him subbed out. Maybe we misread faces. We'll find out once we get into the draft.
Might have been Zuhao. Might have been the other one, the second face on the other side. So I might be wrong.
We'll find out.
Could be Zuhao.
It would be very interesting.
I actually want to focus.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I want to focus on the mid lane matchup quickly before we jump really into the draft, or big time into the draft. Mid lane matchup is very interesting because 𝗬𝗂 so far has been the facilitator on Cerberus, and 𝗕𝗂𝗧, of course, is the facilitating mid laner in the whole league, where he only plays to roam. He plays to get away from his lane because he hates CS. Mm-hmm. He hates to last at minions. It's just not interesting enough for 𝗕𝗂𝗧. He needs more action.
He needs to be an Ivan one trick. He doesn't hurt anyone that way.
He's the complete opposite of the other frog mid laner who loves to CS, but we see the bans coming in actually targeting 𝗬𝗂, which is a very good sign because in the last series, 𝗬𝗂 put up some massive carry performances, and
the fate first pick.
So we've gotten word. Apparently, Cerberus is apparently playing 3 rookies currently.
Ooh. Wow! The disrespect is real.
Is insane. And also, I think you can only make 2 subs a game. So they have to keep
Pun in.
So Pun's in, and apparently they have the different bot lane. That's according to our Discord community. Apparently 𝗬𝗂𝗧's in, and Zeldris. What are you doing, Cerberus?
So if they lose this game, Pun is staying. I imagine. Considering he was the one on the main team.
But I have no idea about the Cerberus. We can't really say anything.
Let's focus on the Buffalo instead then, and just I think we can kind of talk about the Cerberus draft nameplate blind.
Nameplates off. Yeah.
Like, talk about a nameplates off. I mean, 𝗬𝗏's got his Trundle. That's immediately very, very good. They secured 𝗕𝗏𝗺𝗏, a good ADC. And on the other side, 𝗕𝗏𝗺 first picked Graves. That puts the carry pants on 𝗕𝗏𝗺.
They have had most success with the double ADC composition, so I don't actually mind it too much. Even though 𝗕𝗏𝗺𝗏 individually has looked a little bit iffy this split, or even worse than that, his best games were on Kindred and Graves, so I feel like first picking Graves is a valid choice for Saigon 𝗕𝗏𝗺. Also opens up 𝗕𝗏𝗺gy and now though the Ashe and TF provide all the CC the Graves can't bring. So far I actually like their draft, and 𝗕𝗏𝗺gy TF is one of his best champs, so makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, so far I think the 𝗕𝗏𝗺 are getting everything they want. Go ahead, Vinnie, sorry.
Yeah, I think the 𝗕𝗏𝗺 comp is very standard for them. I definitely hope we continue to see things more like a carry top lane and then a good roaming support for him, because that's fully into their strengths. On the side of Cerberus, they have a very, very defensive core, so they could go really either way with the split laners.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Not on our end. That's what matters.
So the Twisted Fate is also in part of Pickaway, because with that core, you have a very strong setup for us to have a Twisted Fate in a side lane, and you can set up more or less what you had in their opening game against Team Secret, where they had the Fiddlesticks Twisted Fate solo laners and just sort of one team fights 4v5 while 𝗬𝗏 just split pushed forever. So actually, this is a completely different lineup, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went for something very simple, just like a standard front-to-back team fight comp.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't think we can make too many reads about this Cerberus team. Like, subbing in 3 players, that is just a different team at that point. 𝗬𝗏,
it's not unknown players.
Strong. No, it's not.
We have seen all these players. So Zeldris has played a few games last split. 𝗬𝗏, of course, with the support on GAM, played like 3-4 games maybe. And 𝗀 actually was the starting top laner for Cerberus in the Pulsefire Cup, and he individually looked very good. I kind of expected him to start when the season started, or the split started. So I was surprised to see 𝗷𝗓 start, and 𝗷𝗓 has definitely justified his starting spot. But so I'm actually not too worried about the Cerberus, because it's not like they put in 3 complete unknown rookies. They actually put in players with a little bit of experience, just not enough to be starting players. So I still kind of favor Cerberus.
We have a stream coming back. I hope it's restarted for you guys. And whoa, we have returned. Come on, stream. I believe in you. Look at that, Yulwei. Tell us about the Fae Enchantress, Lulu. I know she's one of your favorites, so tell us all about it.
Yeah, highest mastery score still for me. She is, of course, a very good champ into Braum. You can get by with your lane. You could even go for the more aggressive choice of the Spell Thief's Edge here, because Lulu can stack them on very, very quickly. She gets 2 stacks from 1 auto attack because of her Pix effect. So you get 30 gold from every auto attack. Very easy to stack against Braum. Gets you more AP, so actually the better route. Wow, we see Akali into 𝗂𝗏𝗺. That is insane. Okay.
𝗀 has just walked up to 𝗂𝗏𝗺, slapped him across the face with a glove, and demanded satisfaction. And I think there was so much aggression in that pick that League of Legends said, "That can't happen. We're going back. We've got to do the draft again." Because it is a remake. Unfortunately, the VCS players...
against 𝗂𝗏𝗺. It's the first time it happens, right? The 2 young players trained under, basically under Zeros, and 𝗀 was there to replace 𝗂𝗏𝗺 after 𝗂𝗏𝗺 underperformed in summer. Then 𝗀 looked even worse, so they stayed with 𝗂𝗏𝗺, and 𝗂𝗏𝗺 developed into this star player that he is now. New team, of course, for him. Not new team in terms of team name, but all the players around him are new.
Yep.
So 𝗀 can now challenge 𝗂𝗏𝗺, his former mentor, you could say. Very, very cool storyline to follow. But I don't feel like Akali's the right pick here, especially into 𝗕𝗏𝗺. Usually, the matchup is not actually that bad for Akali, but
I'm
maybe not.
Sort of disappointed that they've put 𝗂𝗏𝗺 on 𝗕𝗏𝗺. I'm getting sick of them putting him on not mechanically difficult champions. Let him use his skill ceiling. Come on, guys. Mordecai is better than the Ornn pick, I'll give it that much. At least he can do a bit more on Mord.
Yeah.
It's a confusing
Mordekaiser still has carry potential.
He
right?
does.
And that's the main thing we want from him.
It's true.
That's the main thing we want from 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏.
I feel like you need to be giving 𝗬𝗧𝗏 really big carry potential. And, I mean, look, this should... I think coming into this, we all predicted a Cerberus 2-0. Of course, we also... I wouldn't have predicted that if I knew they were going to play 3 different players. Would have said 𝗬𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗺 could take 1 game off just a different team. They could take... They've got a much better chance against Hubert Zeldris than they do against 𝗬𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗺. Jesus.
Fair.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Is it worth it for a team that has literally not lost a game? They are not just series lossless. They have not seen their Nexus explode. They have not seen their Nexus explode. This entire split.
Exposed, not exposed either,
That's
so
true.
You're correct there.
True. Why, then, are you doing an experiment this big? Like, what do you guys think about that? Is this worth it?
I think yes. I think...
Seriously, interesting. But
Yes,
why would you want to replace other players on this team?
I think yes, because of one main thing, really. I don't think going undefeated... Going undefeated is nice, but I don't think it's really... It does all that much for you. I think you need to take a couple knocks. So you get a lot more... I don't know. Knowing how to lose and like how to handle losing is a good thing to do. Especially in series. So
but wouldn't you rather, instead of experimenting with players, because it's not like I think any of these 3 players prefer experiment with comps, right? Go something weird in the draft.
I would prefer that, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I mean, I don't agree with doing 3 at once.
Yeah, that's insane. 1, I'd be like, okay,
weird,
whatever.
But yeah, I don't agree with 3 at once. 2 maybe I can understand, but I don't think you should be doing 3 at once. But overall, I don't think it's like you've gone undefeated against every other team. I believe this is the last team in the first round robin for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, one more game,
no,
but almost.
They played OPG. I don't think they played OPG.
Yeah.
Have they?
They have one more game. I don't know. Everyone will have 6 games after this one, and 7 is the first round robin.
But this is a bottom feeding team.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Vinny. Like, it's definitely not insanely bad, because like if they lose this game 1, it's definitely not guaranteed. Buffalo is really struggling, except for 𝗬𝗧𝗏. If they lose game 1, just bring in your normal team. If you can make 3, bring all of them in. If you can only do 2, probably just keep Pun in. Bring in your bot lane, whatever, then you probably win the next 2 games. You still win the series. That 1 loss is not going to matter in terms of game difference. Sure, I agree with that, but what is the positive? These players, they're not going to get games. This is not a team where you're competing for spots, surely. You are stomping the league. Why mess with it? Just give your current players more time. That's what I don't like.
I agree with that. I am personally not a believer in 7-man rosters in League anyway, like nowhere. I feel like the more time you have to build synergy, the more time you have to experiment with different kinds of positions in the game, with ways to overcome obstacles in game, with ways to build synergy, the better.
I mean, they fell out of favor for a reason, right? Korea was doing that for ages, and now they're not.
Yeah, I really don't like that. I feel like putting in Pun is okay. The new bot lane I really don't understand, because your gameplay is so much around your bot lane. Artemis and 𝗀𝗏𝗏 have been so essential. And the top laner you can experiment with a little bit. I feel like you want to get to a level where you can also counterpick. So having Pun as the more mechanical gifted player, get him in the team, get him some synergy, so you can go to the Jaxes, to the Kales, to all the coated picks as well. I feel makes sense for this team, even though LL has been a standout player as well. But the new bot lane for me doesn't really do anything. It's a strange decision.
Particularly with who that bot lane is. It is Zeldris and 𝗬𝗏𝗏.
Yeah.
These players are known quantities. Pun is young, you can mold him. These two, they're already sculptures, and it looks like they're done by Squidward in that one episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Not great.
I mean, this all goes off the fact we have no knowledge.
Of course,
If one of the bot laners is sick, maybe they were like, okay, we'll bring the entire Puppies bot lane across, and
that would be fair.
And go with that inbuilt synergy in the bot lane. And then, yeah, we want to try pun, and we've got 2 of the academy players. Might as well chuck him as well. So that could be a thing.
To put,
but
sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, and I mean, it does also come down to who's been doing a lot of the shot calling. If 𝗬𝗂𝗃 was like the major voice of the main roster, I don't think this will end up being too bad for them. But...
Yeah, I think so. Let's kind of look at it from the other side, because I think the subs is the most interesting story. I don't know what's gone wrong with draft here, but we'll find out soon. As soon as we have League of Legends, we will bring it on screen. Don't you worry. We're not just obsessed with our own faces. If the Buffalo lose game 1, they're done. Surely, like they're just done.
Oh,
if you lose to Cerberus with 3 subs, there's no mental recovery.
Yeah, it's such a big blow. And I mean, now is the time to step up for a lot of the problem childs for SGB, especially the bot lane. Style has been a big disappointment so far in this spring split, and after yesterday's games from 𝗕𝗄𝗎, I thought, okay, maybe today's the time for Style to outshine 𝗕𝗄𝗎, but now he doesn't even have to face 𝗕𝗄𝗎, so he could really pop off on the ADCs. And that would be a step in the correct direction, because that was how 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗄𝗏 dominated the Pulsefire Cup, of course. Carries in top lane and bot lane, and suddenly now the carry in bot lane is just not showing up, so you only have 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he gets you some games, but not enough to win a lot of series. It's just not good enough.
Yep, and here we are. The draft begins. Oh, whoa! Oh, are they doing? Okay, so this is clever.
They're doing a blind.
They're doing a blind pick just to speed it up. I know it looks very weird, but it's because the entire comps were decided, so they're just doing a blind pick to get us going.
And apparently, it was a 𝗬𝗶𝗴 instead of the 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏.
Okay, so they meant to. How the hell? Well, maybe they're close together in Vietnamese. A and V are not close together. But.
Yeah. We know that we are the region with the worst players against Champion Select. Champion Select consistently outplays VCS players. Every single team.
The draft mechanics in the VCS are honestly its biggest weakness. If they want to get good, if they want to get deep at Worlds, they really need to learn to navigate the client, because they struggle.
That said, it proved to be in their advantage in the NSC, because it just tilted 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 off the face of the planet.
Fair enough.
Very true. As the stream died again for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
Okay, it's coming back. Sorry, everyone. This is not on our end. You can see all 3 of us are having the stream die at the same time, and we are in different places on the globe, so it's not just our internet. It is, unfortunately, GG Stadium is
1%.
They have that. Buffalo's a popular team. They've got some hardcore fans. That's just fans.
Nice.
And I mean,
to be fair,
okay, wow, the stream just completely died. Yes. Back to us, boys. Hope we did our makeup today, because we are getting a lot of camera time. Is the stream completely dead for you guys? Like black screened?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Now we have to resync. Thanks, guys. God damn it.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we're all at the same.
We'll find out.
Who knows?
But we have seen the comps now. It was the 𝗬𝗏𝗏 instead of the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. We had some criticisms of the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 pick. So,
I mean,
good.
And now it's 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 top. So,
But it's Cerberus, right?
Yeah,
maybe they can make it work. Oh, we're back. Oh, no, we're gone again. Oh,
no, I didn't even get it back. Oh, wait. There we are. There's the back and gone. So, yeah,
let's just talk about these drafts. When the game is happening on the stream, we'll turn to it, but we can't make them go any further. There's just some tech issues in Vietnam.
Yeah, so I think, in theory, the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 should be a slightly easier matchup into 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 than 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Really?
I've especially early levels,
Harley beats 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 early.
Yeah, she does.
Does she?
Yeah, she really outlanes Mordekaiser early. Level 6, he can turn it around, but Kali's a good matchup into Mord.
It would appear that we have a game. Are we all in? We might have to do a quick resync before I flick over. Yulwei, could you just tell me your timestamp?
1:29, 30,
I'm 2 seconds
31.
ahead, so I'm going to pause at 1:35. Tell me when you get there, myself.
No.
All right, let's rock and go. Easy. 1:38, 39, 40, 41. How are we looking?
Okay.
We good?
Yeah. Oh, we should be good now.
Right, sorry about that, everyone. It is tech issues. We are dealing with them. Vinny, you're going to have to be super quick. I want you to say one word, and it's a team name. Who's going to win?
Buffalo, I don't know.
All right, there we go. It's Buffalo predicted by Vinny. Fair enough. It's hard to predict Cerberus when it is literally a different team. Let's be honest, this is not the same team.
I just like Buffalo's draft more.
I said one word, Vinny. You cheated. Go back in your box. But here we go. So you were talking a little bit about Lulu because you have a lot of knowledge on that champion. Do you want to tell us a bit more about it? How does it affect this game?
Oh, we already saw one thing I teased in draft. Lulu actually went with the aggressive support item choice because she can get proc that all the time on Braum and now the turret as well. So good choice. I like that a lot. Makes it a little bit less tanky, but way better scaling now. More AP. Also goes nicely with if she wants to opt for something like the Athenes, which is not a great item on Lulu, but she could go it either anyway. But let's look at the composition as a whole. Lulu, of course, very strong counter engage, very good at giving someone like Meliodas extra tankiness. What I don't quite like about the Lulu in this draft is that they now have very little engage. They basically have to rely on style. So this is pretty much a counter engaged Lulu, which will try to give all the ADCs enough damage to catch up to Zeldris' Aphelios, which can work. Lulu Ashe is actually very, very strong hyper carry late game setup, even though Ashe isn't really really known as a hyper carry. Together with Lulu, she has a lot of damage.
Ooh,
But we see the top lane dive instead.
They want to get 𝗂𝗲𝗔 behind early, but the instant teleports. It's an Avengers level threat, and we'll have to wait to see how it resolves as once again the stream has crashed.
Look at the teleport. The teleport is break. Yeah, it's looking very cool.
Oh, well,
it's shiny.
Come on back in, Vinny, as we'll have to throw over again. It's rough at the moment. This is not a good start, technically.
Nope. No, it's not.
Oh, I mean, it looks like everyone's going to get away from that gank. It's a Rise and...
Really not sure about the Yado teleport. That one is a little bit weird. I guess if he arrives in time, you could stun 𝗂𝗲𝗔 and you can turn on him and just ignore Froggy.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Froggy doesn't do much at level 4.
Yeah.
But we'll find out once the stream loads. No doubt we won't actually get to see the play. That's fair enough. We'll just know how it resolved, I suppose.
Yeah, turning the play into a 3v2 rather than a 2v2 could potentially give you a massive swing, but considering how close that teleport is to tower, you have the potential of 𝗂𝗲𝗔 and Froggy just turning on you and getting it 1-for-0 on Yado.
Look at Gray's positioning as well on the map. He's heading bot. I'm not sure if he just cleared, if he just wants to clear his Crux or actually wants to go for a dive. Would be very early on Zeldris and Hugh, but look at Zeldris is super low, so they might actually want to look for a dive here. Heal available for him. He also has the Guardian, so quite a lot of tankiness, even from the Lulu. She also can shield, of course. So there's a small possibility of a dive in bot lane happening at the same time.
Very possible. I'm gonna try one thing. Continue talking, guys.
I think judging from the fact the 𝗬𝗏𝗏 was taken, I think he's just heading to his
makes sense.
to his Krugs, and then he's gonna reset. But
see if this can work. Maybe we can get a second feed. There is a second feed, but last time I tried it, it does not work from a non-Vietnamese IP. Let's find out if that's changed. It hasn't, so we have to wait for YouTube issues. I tried. That's there are literally only 2 feeds for the VCS, YouTube and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 does not work in the West. So hope you guys.
If you just hit refresh, it works.
Oh. Is the
Apparently, I think, unless it just sent me back in time. No, it just sent me back in
just
time.
sent you back.
Never mind.
Yeah. Well,
I take it all back. Nothing works.
I think we will be throwing up the tech issues screen. Again, we are very sorry, but there is literally nothing we can do about this. We can't access the other feed. If YouTube crashes, we're scuffed. We're really sorry. If you are in Vietnam, thanks for watching, even though you probably speak Vietnamese. Maybe go watch on No. Oh, no, never mind. Just as I was about to throw to a break. We back.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Here we go. The
I'm
break's
back.
going down.
And it's paused again.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We okay?
No,
We
we're
okay?
back. We're back.
Let's wait. Vinny, back in the box. Yulwei, it's me and you.
Bye.
Do we need to resync? What is your timestamp?
I was right about YADO, though.
You were?
7.5, 7.6.
Okay, we do need
7.7.
to resync, so I'm going to switch back over to the screen just for a moment. Vinny, you are on screen. I'm going to pause at 7:25. Let me know when you get there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A little bit
Sure,
ahead,
catch up.
unfortunately, but we will figure this out. Don't you worry. Let me know.
3, 4, 25.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
stopped.
did it like that. Okay. Might want to pause for 3 seconds then.
Yeah. I'll take it.
No worries. We'll figure it out. But here we go. The stream is back. We are resynced. Please stream. I beg you. It's struggling.
So
No.
there was a kill for
was.
the rice, and then Lulu got the kill on the rice. I'm really not sure how she did that.
How is
No assist for style.
How did
So
that
probably
happen?
so what happened is the play in top side went Cerberus's way and they got the kill. But then before the dragon started, Lulu went for a roam in mid lane. They killed Yado and they turned it into the first dragon. That's probably what happened here. Of course, we don't quite know.
We are.
Now Lulu very far ahead. Look at her items. Lulu is feeling great in this game.
Yeah, but I like it. You did do a little bit of Sherlock Holmesing there. Very good. You love to see it. Let's kind of catch up. Of course, we have missed several minutes of gameplay. Thanks, YouTube. Just unfortunate there. So let's catch up with how everything is going. Froggy has a CS lead, as Zeldris going very low. They're going to try and turn it onto style, but Zeldris, you have to hit your ult. He turns into a plush toy, and now it's 𝗬𝗂𝗏 on the run, but Hin will not let him go. And oh dear God, oh no, it only gets worse as the 𝗕𝗂𝗏𝗵 once again showing his power, dying for nothing.
And this is really how the win streak ends? That is so disappointing, man. Why, Cerberus? Why?
I don't understand. Like,
oh,
what have
God. That bot lane play was so bad. Look at this.
This was shocking.
It's so bad. Look at this. Zeldris doesn't know where style is. Good ambush, actually, from 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏. He misses ults. He tries. Oh,
He also used,
I can't even look at that.
The wrong ult.
Look at Hugh flashing away against. Just.
And then this was just
whatever.
𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. Great pick. Really worth being
always
played.
useful. So even Cerberus can lose with 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. I mean, the game is. I want to say not over, but this is kind of over.
I mean, like,
looking at this big bot lane lead.
The big thing here is what's going to suck is in like 3 weeks, people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, Cerberus did lose that one game to the Buffalo. They're not a perfect team. They're not the best team in the VCS. They lost a game to Buffalo. It's like, that wasn't Cerberus. They had 3 subs. That was literally a different team. I'm going to be so tilted.
Yeah, I can already hear the toll.
Look,
understandably so.
Again,
I really don't understand what this is about. Like, this is so weird.
Again, it's one game in a series. You probably just bring your real team in for the next 2. Who cares? You still win the series. That's what actually matters. But what benefit are you getting? Yep, we've confirmed it. Zeldris and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 are shit. We already knew that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's also really unfortunate for Zeldris and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 because. What can they actually accomplish here? If they win the game, it's like, yeah, okay, you won the game. We would have won the game anyway. And if they lose the game, it's like, okay, back to VCSB forever. What a bad situation that is for this bot lane. Oh, man.
Super depressing.
I'm really not happy seeing this.
We are operating on the assumption that this is actually a choice. Vinny did point out, if one of the bot lane members is sick, husband's about to die, by the way. That's a fire back from Cerberus. Zhuhao looking good, as always. As I was saying, if one of the bot laners is sick, it can make sense to sub the whole bot lane. But here they go. 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏, speaking of the bot lane, he goes down. They're going to get a charge on an in-him turret. 𝗪𝗓𝗏 nearly dies. And truly, this is how 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 dies. Really? Is this how this happens?
Apparently. Oh, man. At least we see some impressive plays from the bot lane from 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and this could actually be a big confidence boost for especially Style, who has struggled so much on stage. Winning a game against 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, even though, yeah, we know, it's not the real 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but it still feels good to be the first team to take a game off this juggernaut.
Yeah.
I guess could help his confidence. The game is not over. They need to not throw. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has lost from very ahead against 𝗬𝗏, for example, last week, again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 4k gold lead, and they have the first dragon. Let's look at how the top lane kill happened.
So that was
just a little bit too deep.
That's a very poorly thought out 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's rot. It's so hard to kill Volibear
Yeah,
in there. That was badly done.
I mean, he would have killed him if not for the turret, of course, right?
Yeah,
but
that's
the turret just a little bit too close. Yeah,
you should know. You should know where the walls of your death realm are. Like it's set. That's pretty silly, as they will pick up the second Drake. I'm struggling to take this one a bit seriously, Yulwei, I'll admit it.
I mean, makes sense.
Maybe you can pull me back down to earth, but I'm a little upset, as here is bit of a realm warp in. They're going to try and catch onto 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He has to flash away from the pillar. This is 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. These are the real players. 𝗬𝗏 charging forward, but there's the arrow onto the rise. Okay. And can you hear the turnaround coming? Because I definitely can. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets the Lulu ult. He'll live. Yado is taken out, as is 𝗬𝗏.
Another 2 kills. There we go. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 playing the game very well. Even though their competition may not be VCS level, they are still making it work. And 2 dragons, now 72 in kills, more than a 4k gold lead.
𝗬𝗏 is
definitely looking like 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
He's 0-3 on Braum at 13 minutes.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Also, I think I've actually figured out what happened here. So Artemis yesterday was so frustrated that he said, "Okay, I'm 𝗬𝗏's getting too close. I inted too much yesterday. We need to put in a worse team. So 𝗬𝗏 is going to int, and his KDA is going to fall. So I'm a sole KDA leader." So far, 𝗬𝗏 is still staying away from the fight. So 1-1 will not help Artemis achieve that one.
The big brain, much like Garm in their last game of last split, where they desperately tried to get Tier 1 MVP and succeeded.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they see it's just a very early split stat magic from 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but I hope not, because, gonna be honest, very disappointed in this. Like, come on, guys, this is your job.
Yeah.
This is your job. If I worked in a factory and did doughies on a forklift, they'd fire me. Why is this okay? As 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is in the death realm with 𝗏, they are chasing this bear down, and I don't think he has a chance. He flashes away, but 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will confirm the kill.
Oh man, Volibear top lane. I mean, to be honest, in the pure top lane 1v1, he's doing a fine job. He's ahead in CS against 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, one of the best laners in the VCS. So 𝗏 showing his former teammate who the better top laner is, at least in laning phase.
I'm about to answer your point, and it's a statement that my tongue doesn't want to move right to say.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, despite 𝗏 being the better top laner, the Buffalo's macro is just far superior to 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Oh man, what a statement to make.
And I'm right. That's the bad part is I'm right.
Yeah. Just the better macro team, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 against 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We all knew it. It was so obvious from the start. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 can only find a way out of this game if they fight better, but they're 5k gold down and will lose another objective. It's basically already a victory lap at this point. I want to point out Lulu is very successful. 2-0-5. Pick more Lulu, guys, especially if the enemy team is showing you the Braum. Just go Lulu. You have triple the value, and you get a free laning phase on top of that.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of that. That is definitely something to take away. If they pick a Braum, just slam an enchanter back into them. Pick your Lulus, pick your Zyras. Hell yeah. Some support diversity is something I fully encourage. I don't support player diversity in terms of who they play, because this is what you get. You get 𝗬𝗏 5k down at 15 minutes, being out-macroed by the second worst macro team in the league. 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗧 has ulted down to the bot lane. They want the purple boy to go down, and he tries to 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗴𝗍, but 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗃 says no. And Yulwei, I have a bit of a question. Did you pay these teams to win our sleeper matchup?
It definitely looks like that.
Did you pay them? Because this is ridiculous right now. As 𝗬𝗏𝗏 once again caught, he couldn't put the door up in time to block the Ashe ult, and there's a flash and a cleanse forced from 𝗬𝗏𝗏 because he didn't want to walk away from the minions. Rift Herald is summoned up, and dear God, this is a VCS B team versus an LEC team with this skill gap. What is happening?
Oh man, at least the game is going to be over soon. It definitely looks like 𝗬𝗏𝗶𝗴𝗍 is not having any of this anymore. 92 in kills, 6k gold up. Hey, 𝗕𝗂𝗄𝗧 got a first turret.
Hey.
Oh, it's actually the second turret for 𝗬𝗏𝗏. But yeah, there's another dragon coming up. It's only 𝗬𝗏𝗏, but even 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is very nice to have, especially on some stuff like Ashe and TF. Even 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes it a lot to be fast in his death roll.
Yeah, it's super good for the death roll.
I'm just very sorry for 𝗬𝗏𝗏, honestly. I'm so sorry for 𝗬𝗏𝗏. He's getting picked on, and he doesn't really deserve this. I hope he was on board with this swap, because this could be a little bit of a tilter, even if the real team comes back in. And I mean, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is really bad, but they are still a VCS level team.
𝗬𝗏𝗏 has been caught out again. He manages to flash away, but there's a teleport coming in the middle of the team. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is wiggling those arms, trying to get out, but 𝗕𝗂𝗏𝗏 is here, and he's fast. He gets a little bit of CC done, but he's got a Lulu ult. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 very, very low as the wild cards flick through, and they all manage to escape for now, but there's the Twisted Fate ult. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 comes in. Who will meet their destiny? I think it may well be the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 B team, and 𝗕𝗏𝗏, he's leaping in with a roar, and once again 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 shows his potential. 300 gold for the enemy.
Yeah, that's all 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 does today, at least from the top lane. I finally want to see some 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 jungle. Why do we have to suffer through all the top lane 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏s just inting away every single game? But look at this, 18 minutes in, they are breaking inhibitor turrets against 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. What is going on today? What is going on?
This is... I hope there's... Like, this sounds horrible. I hope Artemis is sick. Because that's the only way you can excuse this. If they're doing this as an actual experiment, I'm angry. Jeez, you're not learning anything. The point of an experiment is to learn. Look at this rundown. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 have nothing.
I mean, there's one takeaway, and that is don't do it again. I mean, that's something you learned. Fair enough.
To be fair, I didn't have to learn by doing when my parents said don't run on the highway. Yeah. I just kind of got it. I didn't have to get hit by a truck. Oh dear Lord. Man. This game's pretty much completely over. This is a VCS B team versus a VCS team. If you are in chat and you haven't been watching the VCS, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 are an undefeated team who decided to come into this match and said, undefeated sounds weird, let's play our entire academy team, pretty much. They brought in 3 academy players, and it's not going well.
Maybe it's actually releasing some pressure from the main team. Being undefeated can definitely put you into weird situations. I think back to C9 last split. They also came out after the TSM loss saying, we are actually so relieved. We can now play to actually improve and not have to play to win anymore. So I guess you can purposefully throw a game by putting in worse players. And
surely, again, don't you do that through a weird draft? Don't you draft something weird?
I mean, I agree.
And go, okay, the draft didn't work. We're not undefeated anymore. And you get all that good stuff. And you learnt if you can play that draft. You actually learned something.
I definitely agree with that, but it seems like VCS teams don't like to do that. Because I guess there's a lot of community flame as well, right? From weird drafts. We saw the...
is this not community flame as well? As 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to try and make something happen. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 is leaping forward. He gets stuck on top of the pillar. He was the dancing bear for a moment. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 does not get off that ult. And the Buffalo once again win another fight. No contest. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 flashes forward to get the stun. They want 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's life to be even harder. 0-4-0. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 passive, and the hammer's been brought down. And dear God.
Wait, Lulu didn't get an assist. What is going on? Give me more assists for my team, please.
Please stop.
You are slacking him.
This isn't fair. I was going to win our fantasy matchup, and then they did this. This isn't fair. You paid them your way. You cheated.
It's just big brain. It's just I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
𝗕𝗂𝗥𝗕𝗏 and Buffalo would do well against Cerberus, and Artemis wouldn't even play, so I could get extra points.
This is like, people, and I can already see it in our Discord, like, oh, they're experimenting. This experiment is,
But why?
What if I lick the stove while it's on? My tongue got burned. Oh, I learnt that. Did you need to lick the stove to do it? Like, I think there were other ways. Yardo's gone down. Can they trade back on the 𝗕𝗂𝗧? There's the Lulu ult to pump up the graves. And now Pun running away. Please stop. End the game.
Yes,
I don't want to lose any more points.
2-0-12. I like it. Also, finally, Zhuhao's KDA is ruined, so Artemis is definitely laughing behind stage, because now there's a big gap between him and Zhuhao in the overall KDA ratings. Played, Artemis, well played. You didn't even play this game, but you played your jungler. Look at this every day. We're not even casting the Baron going down. What are we doing?
Is there a point? Like,
atrocious.
I don't even want to, like, normally if we have a slow game when there's not much to cast, I'll talk about, something I've been cooking. I did more baking today, but I don't even want to talk about it, because baking makes me happy and this game makes me sad.
Maybe it's a good time to talk about that. What do you recommend I should cook today? Because I haven't decided yet.
I'll admit I'm not the best with vegetarian food, because you don't eat meat, do you?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not the best. I mean, I'd reckon it's hot over there, right? So get a salad going. Get on a nice garden salad.
Actually,
something
that
nice.
hot.
Oh, I thought you were complaining in the break. Look at that ward. They've got control of that brush. There were 3 control wards in there. Dear God. But yeah, no, nice garden salad can cool you down on a nice hot day. It's very refreshing.
It's a good idea. Very healthy too.
Maybe something with some grilled tofu or something.
Oh, look at this engage! Look at
realm
this.
war. Surely you can win this one, Cerberus. It's a 3v5, and it looks like the Buffalo are going to win it. Oh my God! Why are we bothering? What is going on? It was a 3v5. They are charging forward. They are about to ace them. Oh my God! What is happening? This has been the dumbest night of League of Legends we've ever watched, and dear God, if we had some dumb ones. It's thankfully over. Release me from this game, and Buffalo end Cerberus's undefeated streak in what was one of the worst decisions I've ever seen an organization make.
Oh man, this was so fun to listen to. Just hear everyday molding on cars.
How can I not mold? Like, my job is to bring hype to a game. How do you hype that? I'm not a good enough caster to cast that one seriously. Maybe a good caster can, but I can't. Bloody hell. Vinny?
There wasn't any analysis to be had.
Yeah. Vinny, do you have a take?
I have a take that if your bot lane goes a combined 0-9 and 0, you're not going to win the game.
Ooh. Well, I'm glad they did the experiment to find that out, because if they hadn't experimented, we wouldn't have known.
My sleeper team is very happy because I have 𝗕𝗂𝗧.
I'm just gonna check, because I mean, there's no actual analysis to be done. If you guys can talk about an MVP, I'm gonna open up Sleeper, which is a fantasy draft that we've done. I'm playing against Yulwei this week. Before that game, I was 40 points ahead, and thanks to this, I'm now 100 points behind. Thanks, guys. My ADC didn't play for some reason, and you had Froggy, Sorn. I mean, Sorn already played, but what the hell? This isn't fair.
Oh,
I'm angry. I'm so upset.
So who is the MVP for this very good game we just witnessed?
I can tell you who
style?
it isn't, that's about
Lulu?
I think the Lulu, personally. I think it's
Lulu. Yeah, all right.
That was really dominant.
She was everywhere, yeah.
Lulu
but style
Lulu
also deserves a shout out. He played well.
He did. I think they all
the
played
bot
well.
lane and 𝗕𝗂𝗧 all played very well. I mean,
I agree.
everyone except Harsmed
Rocky
is
really liked his
probably
blue
up for
cards.
contention.
He did. He gave him a few Reggies for sure. But with that, I need to go try and regrow some of my hair because I think my hairline has shifted 5 or 6 inches back with how hard I'm molding. We'll be back soon, guys.
Yeah.
Please play your real team, Cerberus. I'll be so upset if you lose your first series like this. See you soon here on VCS English. All the angry Australian action is right here. See you in a minute. Welcome back to VCS English, guys, where we've just had Cerberus do quite an interesting experiment. It didn't pay off. The unbeaten streak is over. Game 2, do they bring their full roster back in? We can only hope so. If they don't...
Yeah, look behind me.
Yeah. Is there, like... obviously, we can't read anything of Cerberus from that game. There's nothing to read from them. That doesn't mean anything. But did anything that the Buffalo do really impress you? Or was it purely just, we are playing against Platinums?
I mean, even though their enemies weren't really on par in terms of skill levels, the bot lane still played very well. They got 2v2 kills. They pushed in from the start, from the word go. They had pressure in the lane. So yeah, bot lane looked way better than so far. I mean, the main problem with Style, especially, is out of lane. He's not actually that bad in lane. Mostly out of lane is where Pan is still in. Interesting.
I think that's because they can only swap 2. I think it's because they can only swap 2 between games. Hopefully, they can get the bot lane out. Otherwise, it's going to be a quick 2-0.
I mean, we expected a quick 2-0, so at least that part is correct, I guess.
That's
it's like a monkey's paw. I want a quick 2-0 between Cerberus and 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏. The finger just curls.
yeah.
Oh. But, like, again, I'm trying to inject some seriousness back in because game 1 was a joke. Were you guys happy with the draft from the Buffalo? I thought they looked pretty good. I thought 𝗕𝗂𝗧's Graves was impressive.
I was very happy with Buffalo.
Yeah.
It seemed quite weird because everyone in Buffalo except 𝗬𝗓𝗏 looked really good. 𝗬𝗓𝗏 kind of looked a bit...
He lost lane, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen that
I
way.
also don't really like the blind 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏. Like, okay, it kind of blocks Wukong, but does it really? All the Wukongs have been able to go equal, even in lane, and then do way more in team fights. So, kind of don't really like the no engage blind Wukong pick there. Oh, 𝗕𝗏𝗏 is definitely in.
Okay,
So yeah, I didn't quite know. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏 should go back to a stronger team fighting champion, and then maybe you even have a chance here. Artemis and 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 are back, but Pan is still in, so it's not full power Cerberus still.
But then again, Pan was definitely the least bad part of that. He looked,
For sure.
he won lane. He was fine. I mean, he didn't do anything on the 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, but that's partly because VCS
give him a
𝗕𝗏𝗏.
champion and he might be able to do something.
It was partly VCS 𝗕𝗏𝗏. I think they're on a different patch that just has like 𝗕𝗏𝗏 nerfed like 50 more times. Because VCS top lane
looks like that in game, yeah.
top lane 𝗕𝗏𝗏 is a pinata that the enemy team hits and gold falls out. That's about it. And you're a tank jumping in and being like, yes, team, I will screen. Where's my team? Guys? Oh, like, let's be honest here. They didn't have much of a chance.
It's very right.
Yeah, it's definitely the right champ for animal style, but sadly is not quite tanky enough to really warrant the hard engages. So yeah, most of the time we just see him jump in and then get kited and die. Okay, nice. Thank you, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, for your contribution. You can go back to your base now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
here we go. We have game 2's draft. Let's rock and roll.
Poached. So
we have Cerberus's bot lane back in. That was the most important change. I hope you figured out whatever experiment you wanted with 𝗪𝗓𝗏 and 𝗬𝗓𝗏. I mean, again, I put the dog that didn't know what it was doing up for a reason. Cerberus did not know what it was doing. Anyway, we forget that one. We move on. What do we want pick, guys?
More or less the same from the side of Buffalo. Cerberus, I think, other than the 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, I think their comp was actually all right.
Comp was fine.
The bot lane was very heavily countered.
Yeah, the blind Braum wasn't the greatest. There was no reason to really pick Braum, and it gave the opportunity to pick Lulu into the Braum, so I didn't really agree with the Braum, but everything else looked fine to me. Hopefully no 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 first pick. I would really not like to see that again. Please don't.
I don't think we'll see
Well, it's possible.
𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 first picked because Cerberus isn't a complete disaster of a team. The Twisted Fate first pick is quite interesting.
I like that a lot. It's a really contested pick between these teams. Froggy and Yano have both looked really good on the Twisted Fate. This is super contested. I actually like that.
It's interesting, but I don't think it's first pick worthy. I don't think Buffalo is going to take it in their first rotation, so I think you grab it third.
I think the other champ you would first pick here, 𝗪𝗓 or 𝗓𝗏, are both not super high on Cerberus's priority list. They can just counter with Bard. They go 𝗓𝗏 here, so I feel like that is fine. I am seeing too much set already on screen.
Yeah.
And there's 𝗓𝗏 is open, and you go set. That is probably not the greatest choice.
Thank God.
Thank God. Clearer heads have prevailed.
Yes.
So 𝗕𝗏𝗺 Bard or Ashe Bard? What do you like?
I like Ashe.
I would like a 𝗕𝗏𝗺.
I like Ashe into this comp. Okay. I don't care. I don't think that's unless you're gonna go for a enchanter and go to fully bully lane. That is not a word.
Yeah, you're never going enchanted plus MF. That doesn't make any sense. You want hard engage for her. You want setup for her.
I'm confused.
I don't know. I like I like poke supports in with MF, and that way you can just completely bully out a lane.
But you can't bully out a 𝗪𝗪𝗺 𝗓𝗏. Good luck. Like, maybe if it wasn't 𝗪𝗪𝗺 𝗓𝗏. I'm confused at this MF pick.
I don't think MF was a good pick at all.
Over Aphelios, Ezreal. Like, there are so many picks available. Why have you gone MF?
I don't think MF is a good champion right now. Like, she's not. Unless there are, like, straight up 6 AD carry bans, you shouldn't be picking MF. But
I don't mind MF that much. I feel like she can stand up to 𝗪𝗪𝗺 in lane most of the time. She has a nice poke. You can set up some dives maybe there. I don't understand why you would pick MF over Aphelios. Maybe it has to do with the fact that Artemis inted on Aphelios yesterday, big time. So maybe he just wants to go to a different ADC.
Then Ashe.
So I personally don't mind it too much. I think Ashe would have been a better pick here. Ashe plus...
My concern with Ashe is I don't think Twisted Fate does quite enough extended DPS damage in a fight. So I always get a little bit dicey because so far from VCS Ashes, we haven't seen huge damage out. I know the champion's capable of it, but we haven't seen it yet. So I'm a little skittish.
What you could have done is gone for Ashe and then pick the Kindred, which was banned in the second rotation. And so you have that double AD carry setup with your jungler being one of the damage threats. Or you can put Pun on something, right? You can put Pun on, not Wukong because Wukong's banned, but I don't know. You can find something for him and then there's your extra damage. So
maybe. Ooh. Cerberus is picking an early game comp.
Cerberus. I mean, with these bans, Cerberus really doesn't have that many choices left. I think Rek'Sai is one of the better ones. But
I mean, they have a lot of setup for dives in bot lane now. They can just form and dive the bot lane. I mean, Pun has a very good on.
I'm actually okay with this.
Pun has a very, very good on.
Very low damage.
He had to blind pick top lane too. Yeah. It's very mid-game focused. They have to set up around good spaces to fight with a lot of terrain-reliant ultimates like MF.
Ashe was open.
This is the counter pick, and Husband can do this. He's done it before. You played right into this.
Coded did that.
Oh, you're right. It was coded. Sorry, but Husband can definitely do it. But they go to Silas.
And Kato is so much better than freaking Silas.
Yeah, I think the logic, and you can tell me if it's good logic or bad logic, but I definitely think it's the line of thinking, was the Cerberus guys probably want to fight around mid-game. I don't think Kayle spikes early enough. We would be kind of playing 4v5. I think that's the logic. I still think it would be a bit.
Makes sense.
I still think the Kayle...
I agree.
I definitely don't mind the Silas pick. I think you're not going to win it. I mean, you don't really need to worry about too much about the late game. You scale better anyway.
Silas also scales really, really well.
Yeah.
Top lane Silas.
If he gets the levels and Kingslayer is he's level 16 with Kingslayer, it's just an overpowered spell. It's not as good as Kayle, obviously. It's kind of funny. I think I'd be way more positive on this Buffalo comp if they didn't have a Kayle. Because you literally just reminded me. Reminded me that the counter pick exists and then didn't do it.
I also like the Sylas because otherwise they are sort of low on engage, but here you can steal the 𝗨𝗏, you can steal the 𝗨𝗏, so you have extra engage options.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
That's what they're valuing here. And
very good against Artemis as well. You can just steal on ultimate, and Artemis can never ult from his side. So
same with the not ultimate too.
Yeah. It's a little bit harder to hit him with not ult, right? If he hides behind terrain, you first need to get vision. While on ultimate, you can shoot from wherever, right? So it's a good choice to interrupt the.
There's also some very fancy plays if you still Twisted Fate ult. Pop up in the enemy backline. Hello, my name is Sylas. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior? Give him a bit of a spin and some chains.
And I don't have to hear you guys argue about if Orianna ult on Sylas is good or not, because they're on the same team for once.
True.
I would agree with you. Had the Orianna been on the other team, I would have agreed that it's one of the worst options this time. But here we go. Vinny, now that Cerberus has their bot lane back in, do you think they right the ship and take us to a game through?
I think it's hard to say because I think the Buffalo draft is just actually so much better. And if the bot lane can play basically as well as they did in the last game, it's possible we straight up see an actual Buffalo 2-0.
Very, very possible. That would be truly one of the most unexpected things going into tonight. The VCS. Truly
what a story that would be.
Truly it is the
He was
bizarro
2%.
Yeah. This is the bizarro world of League of Legends. And here's the invade. They want to go for the early punish. It's spotted out, and Zhuhao has time to just switch buffs. So I think we're getting a little bit of vertical jungling.
But they have a defensive ward guarding their red buff, so it might be a 3-buff for Meliodas.
That's true. And
this is
with Zhuhao starting Wolves, he's going to be pretty slow.
Yeah, the problem here for Olaf is Olaf goes pretty low in clears, right? So it's Conqueror X is not quite as high in terms of burst damage. If she went Hail of Blades, you could actually look for a 1-1 solo kill at the enemy red buff here. And she's still going there. She's taking the path where she's spotted. That is not the greatest. She has mid lane priority right now, so it should just be a buff trade.
It gives up information. So Meliodas knows for sure how many camps were taken. Ooh, we could have a bit of a rumble here as Yardo's had to run to his jungler. Sylas is on the way as well. And Sylas does a lot more than Ornn at this stage of the game. There's the knock-up. Meliodas going low. Yardo flashes the wall. But the chains find him, and so does the axe. And this is already a disaster. The death in the mid lane, he used his flash as well. They're going to try and turn it around onto Froggy, who found himself without a team. They've called the teleport. Yardo's back for round 2. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. As Cerberus wants to make sure they get the lead. Here they go. Double kill for Ornn. And we have 4 kills at 3 minutes.
Here we go. Finally, 2 VCS teams playing against each other. We see way more action, way more fight back from the other team. Cerberus is here to play, and that was a very strange one. We can see the replay later on, but look at Pun's itemization now. He just went back and straight into Executioner's Calling into the Sylas. That's aggressive.
Let's have a look at this. This is a good
start.
I thought... But look at Froggy.
I thought Cerberus would actually win this very hard.
They're both over the wall. Son, you can't do this. Just walk away.
Froggy is confident. And then the very good turn from Pun. They also call him the TP, and Froggy at this point knows, oh no, I have messed this up. Because Housemate is still level 1. He only has 1 spell. Of course, level 1, Sylas is still quite a strong champion, but with all the extra stats.
Kind of.
Yeah. There's still all the extra stats from the other team. Now, Housemate once again has to play against his old teammate who wanted to kick him from the team, is now on the different team, and has to go against it. 2-0 Executioner's Calling rush.
Oh no, Rek'Sai's here. There's the chains and the flash. Oh, he gets away.
Oh, well played.
That was very well done by Husmed. He does have those mechanics, but like it's funny because Ornn obviously he bought an Exes. Like that looks so silly, but that's so good. You don't want to go Bramble against Sylas for really obvious reasons. He's AP.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
And
that's one of the reasons why Sylas is picked into On. It's not actually that much of a winning matchup, but On just can't stop the healing. So Sylas gets a free lane, gets to pressure the On, especially if he overextends for trades. But now On can actually look for solo kills.
oh my god, this is a series, Yulwei. This is ridiculous.
Cerberus back in control. What a start to the second game. I'm not very interested in what Pan can do, because Pan actually is a very good On player. He's known as a carry and a solo queue prodigy, but his On last season was very good for Saigon Buffalo, or at that point still, of course, the 𝗕𝘂𝗺𝗵 or Dashing Buffalo? Not quite sure.
It would have been
One of
Dashing,
the two.
I think. It would have been Dashing. Ooh,
We see the gank now from 𝗕𝘂𝗺𝗪𝗔. No
Very
flash for him, and Pan has flash. I don't think there can be anything from this one. They even pinged him out. Look
Yeah,
at that.
they know.
Cerberus.
Oh, they know. This is... What's going on, Yulwei?
We had a little bit of a clown fiesta today. I'm not sure why. I expected today's games to be quite high quality. I mean, the first series was surprisingly well played from EVOS. Just the other team not quite living up to the hype. Now this one, yeah, I mean, we talked about the compositions, and even the early gold lead is not enough for Cerberus to win. It's definitely looking more like the Cerberus we know and love. 1 point something gold up.
Is this
One
the
dragon already.
Cerberus we love? They're winning.
I mean, they're winning all the lanes. And their jungler is spotting out the enemy jungler, so good play so far.
Yeah, but it's been a bit of a strange one. It's not normally how Cerberus wins.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So with Pan in, I mean, maybe they want to train Pan to be another one of those coated top laners. They just can compete with Ki and Hasmid and bring the counter picks. Of course, on blue side, he just went back to On. And this is the most... I mean, this is very skewed in his favor early on with 2 kills, so you can't really get a good read on his lading ability. He is now doubled Hasmid's farm, more than doubled, almost tripled at this point.
No.
So
no.
Can he 1v2 these two? Hasmid is 2 levels down, and he has a big wave.
Don't think so. Not under tower for
Yeah.
sure, obviously.
Yeah, but I think he gets away for sure.
Yeah, he absolutely gets away. He just walks. There's no lockdown. It's not going to last long enough because you can just immune the Sylas E, and then cool.
Yeah,
He's
so
on top
much
of
time
you,
wasted.
giving you a nice little back massage at that point.
That's so much time wasted from 𝗕𝘂𝗺𝗪𝗔, who's falling further and further behind compared to Zhu Hao. Look at him. He's down in CS as an 𝗬𝗺 against 𝗕𝘂𝗧, while 𝗕𝘂𝗧 has 3 assists. So
Oh, here's the first Twisted Fate ult. 𝗬𝗨𝗪 comes in, the instant cleanse out of style, does not have flash, and bang, bang, shock and awe has taken him down, though it was, of course, 𝗕𝗏𝗺 who got the kill. Cerberus, here we go.
Upplate, immediately stroke there. First ultimate, I think he's level 7 now, but very, very good coordination between bot and mid lane. Something we see a lot on Cerberus games. Of course, didn't happen last game because the bot lane wasn't the actual bot lane. Just flash engage from 𝗕𝗏𝗺. Style immediately has to flash away, has to cleanse the gold card, but it's still not enough to get away. And Hin, I mean, he's a very sad Thresh. He tried his best versus 𝗪𝑆TA is still dead. And now 1 kill over to 𝗕𝗏𝗺, which actually it's not the worst that can happen. An early kill from Nautilus can make him so much tankier.
Why are they
might
trying
actually be
this?
able.
Why are they trying this again? It's already been pinged out.
That's what is now level 6.
Okay, but this
You
is not the
can
lane. Pun's
engage.
too tanky. He walks away. Hit somewhere else, guys. 𝗕𝗂𝗺𝗪𝗛 is having no impact this game. This
And look at the
𝗬𝗪,
map.
They're just getting Herald. They're just taking Herald.
Wow.
This is highs and lows of the Buffalo. Truly a strange day out here on the savannah.
That was a perfect rotation from Cerberus. They used their bot lane to run to top lane
Hasmid
immediately
has
for the
been
Thresh.
found. Here he comes out of the ground. Does go Rek'Sai. The lantern is good. This could turn around, but the Sylas is so low. But here comes the rest of the Buffalo. 𝗕𝗂𝗺𝗪𝗛 is low. It's a good shockwave onto Zhu Hao, and they've got the first kill. The Buffalo are firing back. The knock-up's a bit weird as he tries to spider Naught away. But look on the other side. Pun, the absolute Chad, goes in and shows shows off why he has the biggest lake in Africa, as there they go. He gets one. He will not be able to get any more, and he finally goes down. Finally, come on. That completely ruins my flow. But there's the shutdown. You love it. This is VCS
gave him a big
action.
shutdown, so it's not actually the best that he overchased for the kill there. It's still 2k gold lead for Cerberus. They will now transition this together with the Herald take into the first turret. Some turrets are already softened in mid and bot lane, so there should be an easy bot lane turret secure. 𝗬𝗨𝗏 gets another free back, has teleport available too, to counterplay any attempted things for 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗏. Let's take a look. Actually looked like Cerberus would just smash this fight, but with some fortunate things securing. Yeah, and then Lantern.
Yeah, that was so
Lastman gets away on a sliver of health. On the other side, Artemis actually won the 1-1 against 𝗬𝗨𝗏 with Pun coming in. 𝗬𝗨𝗏 has to flash out. Would have been a kill if 𝗬𝗨𝗏 didn't flash that one. And look at this dodge from 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Support mechanics. Good to see.
And then Pun, perhaps a bit too bloodthirsty. That's not a kill that's actually worth it. That was a shutdown.
He gave up a shutdown.
Yeah, exactly. The shutdown's the problem. But really, do we need slow-mo on that? He was standing still getting auto-attacked.
We needed that slow-mo on the miscue. We really needed that. Shame style for that. Observers today have been special.
To be fair, I'm fine with slowing it down for something silly like that. And here we go. It's a bit more silliness as the Ragnarok's been burned. 𝗬𝗨𝗏 arrives in the back of the enemy team. And look at all those bullets making it rain for sure, as it's another 2 kills for Cerberus.
And you two were really doubting Cerberus. I'm not sure why. They are stomping 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗏 in this game.
I mean, I doubted them in the first game.
Fair enough.
I think there was a reason for that, Yulwei.
Yeah, there was.
That wasn't
Cerberus. Composition. Cerberus has been looking better and better in the early game. Their average is actually 1.7k up. It's now, of course, messed up with the last game counting, sadly. But they are working on a better average in this game again. So, very good early game team. Now, that was their big struggle at the start of the split. They actually lost some early games against Team Secret with Zika. They lost an early game against GAM, if I remember correctly, too. And, of course, against EVOS, the one game they almost lost. They lost early game big time. But they've been better and better in the last 2 series. That's a good improvement to see.
Yeah, for sure.
They are very far ahead in this game.
This is interesting for sure. I like seeing Cerberus kind of changing things up. I still kind of think that 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗏's comp was better. But I mean, Vinnie said it when he did his prediction was, yeah, I mean, actually, did he call Buffalo? I don't remember. If it had been me, I would have said that, yeah, the Buffalo's comp is better, but the player diff is really big. So I still would have picked Cerberus, even though I don't necessarily like their comp. I think MF is the one. Why'd you pick MF? Have you seen reason
really
over 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏?
It gives you more lane priority and a little bit more mid-game damage. So I actually really don't mind the MF. Especially if you can play with all your engage tools on mid-game. And you saw the big teamfight victory just 2 minutes ago in the bot side jungle. MF is just a little bit quicker to get there. She has a little bit more AoE and a little bit more range damage. So yeah, I really don't mind her too much.
Yeah, I guess. I trying it out again, it's not that sinful, but I still think it's just a little bit weird. I really liked the Twisted Fate first pick. I've got to give big props to that. I think that was super smart. Take away one of Froggy's best champions, put 𝗬𝗨𝗏 on one of his best. We love it.
Yep. So now 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗏 in a position where they need to get some gold back under their belt. Of course, they scale well, but it's not like they ultra hard outscale. It's like the enemy team still has the same kind of tools. They still have a mage, they still have an ADC. So even though your mage and ADC ADC actually is not the case, but your mage is scaling better into the late game. You have more damage in the top lane. It's not enough to overcome like a 5k gold lead. So they need to find some place. Now, speaking of a 5k gold lead, it's actually exactly 5k gold. Nice.
Yeah, this is sort of the flip-flop of game 1, right? Now they're miles ahead. I don't think... I think the lead
Blue side OP.
Yeah, blue side's OP. There was no other factors in game 1. Literally just blue side. So that means the Buffalo are actually going to win the series. Zubby on blue side next game.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's how it works. Correlation always equals causation, after all. That's how science works.
So just a very minor thing, as we don't really have much to talk about. Froggy almost messed up his the clear there. If he spends too long on the ward, the two little crocs, whatever it's called. Croglets. Yeah, I like croglets. They disappear after a while because the camp, you can't actually counter jungle this camp anymore. They just disappear. So if you spend too long at clearing the ward, you can actually hurt yourself and don't get the croglets. He was able to do it in time.
Absolutely. And at the same time, Cerberus was able to pick up a Rift Herald to cement their lead. And it would appear that the Cerberus ship is looking shipshape once again. It's definitely floating where last game it was looking like a sail-operated submarine. We're back on the surface of the water.
And nice! They stopped the charge, so now it's still full HP on 𝗕𝗄𝗃. Can 𝗕𝗄𝗃 get the second turret? You can definitely get a charge. Oh, that's a lot of damage still. So
it is.
Soften up the turret for the next push. Maybe after Baron, you're quicker to get to the inhibitor. Something that often gets overlooked when getting to the inhibitor. The inner turret is quite an annoying obstacle. So now this inner turret doesn't really do anything anymore. Hit it twice with the Auto or Artemis, and it's probably going to fall.
What do you think of this itemization out of pun?
Very disrespectful.
This is incredibly disrespectful. And I actually think it's allowed 𝗂𝗲𝗔 to catch up. I get why he does it. It's the fastest wave clear, right? Because you just destroy waves as Ornn with Sunfire. But I feel like if you'd gone the mask, you could have actually been 20 CS up on 𝗂𝗂𝗔.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This seems a little bit silly, and you've let 𝗂𝗂𝗔 back in the game.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Especially also looking at the enemy team composition. Two of the main carries are AP.
Yeah,
so
what is the Sunfire doing?
Getting into Sunfire first doesn't really make too much sense. I guess it protects you completely against the Olaf ganks. So if you make the judgment to, okay, we can't, the lane is not going anywhere anyway, so we're just going to farm, I can also just buy the item with better wave manipulation. Fair enough.
Yeah,
we have to see if the Sunfire Cape does anything in this fight now.
We'll have to find out, as that is an Ocean Drake pulled. 𝗂𝗲𝗔 zoning pun off. He has the Ornn ult as well, so we could see the double ram. There's the dragon picked up. This is the first ram. That's the real one. Will we see the second? Not so far, as 𝗂𝗂𝗔 is just getting trucked out on the side. And in the middle, look at this. It is Cerberus absolutely damning Buffalo to the underworld, as they've got 4. They've got 5.
No, way too many kills for Artemis. Please don't do that again.
I deserve it.
You do.
You got a freebie
for Cerberus. They kind of messed up their setup for the dragon. Maybe they didn't expect the enemy team to contest, because as you can see, the contest was probably not the greatest call ever. There was not much 𝗂𝗂𝗏𝗄𝗏 could hope for in this fight. And look at Pun's ultimate. That is so perfect. Oh my god.
That was very well done.
It's
Artemis as
everyone.
well. Artemis shredded them with that bullet time and then just flashed forward into the middle of 4 people. And just said,
so many flashing
I don't
ACs
care.
today.
Oh my god, I love it. As he just
5
goes
for 0,
forward.
ace
The dread captain.
at 16 and a half minutes.
Oh.
That is... Well, we had some very one-sided games today, unfortunately. Not much to talk about in terms of, how are they getting back into this game?
I mean,
they aren't. Just...
Yulwei, at this point, dude, we can just get a soundboard of you saying, well, there's not much to analyze, and I'll just press a button between team fights.
It's your turn again. That's perfect.
Oh no, of course. No.
Just randomize it with some there's another engage, or
yeah. And they're setting up a dragon. Absolutely. Oh my. This is a fun game for sure, but it is not a close one. And it's interesting, if you ever want a case study of how one mistake can lose you a game, look at that Froggy play. If he had just walked away and the rest of his team had just walked away, Maybe the top lane wouldn't have gone so badly. Maybe they would have had some priority. Maybe they'd be closer. They probably still lose because Cerberus with their actual bot lane is a lot better than the Buffalo. But that one mistake has snowballed. And even Nunu's jealous of that snowball.
She absolutely is. But it's good to see Cerberus actually be better at snowballing again, because think back to their series this week against Percent. Their early games looked insane. They got off to great leads and then almost threw them 2 times in a row. So it's very good to see them back to their week 1 selves, where their early games weren't the greatest. They have now improved their early games, but they've also worked on their snowballing. And yeah, this game is just clean from start to finish. Other than the one, maybe slight overextend. I actually really liked the call to fight there. I just think Pan was a little late to arrive. Because if Pan arrives earlier, he has a level lead on Hasmid. You have 3v3 with one player being level 1. You win that every single time. So
yeah, I certainly don't hate the call. I just think due to him, it was because of they were fighting on the red side of the map, so the red top lane is a little closer. There's a lot of micro things going there. So Buffalo could have walked away with 1 kill and just said, okay, 2 of us leave through the Baron pit, Froggy walks back through the jungle, no problem. But they didn't do that, did they? Froggy kept walking forward, so his team's like, okay, apparently we have to run all the way around the Baron pit to get to you, man. It's not quick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
he just flashed away and then was closer to Yado arriving with the TP again. Yeah. It's like, okay, nope.
It was a very
not the correct flash.
Yeah, it was a very poor decision out of Froggy that had some big repercussions. And someone who is going to be feeling those repercussions is Mr. Nashor.
Poor little Baron,
Yeah. Save a Baron Foundation, donate to the stream, and 100% of the profits do go to the Baron Preservation Foundation. But speaking of preservation, it does not look like the Buffaloes are having a good one, as they have lost 1 kill. The fight is on. Can they find anything more, Cerberus? They've got 2 for Artemis. He's got 3 for Artemis. Keep going, son. I love it. He gets the triple kill, but he won't get more.
There we go. Another good fight. Cerberus with very clean execution on the Baron. Just turn on the enemies approaching, and now the Baron is free. So this is what we want to see. Not the weird EVOS Barons where they just run at Baron at all costs and that it be stolen away by whatever ability the support has available. Instead, Cerberus, they just to turn from Baron. They're 10k gold up, so why risk the Baron steal? Just secure it for free. Also, conveniently, the dragon is going to spawn here, so just run a dragon as well and collect that one.
Yep, this is
good engage from 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfectly done.
Froggy with no chance to move. This is very well executed, obviously. Look at this choke point. You don't want to be in.
Yeah, you would like to have MF ult again here. Imagine that. But he gets a triple kill anyway. With a little bit of a better chase comp, this could have been a pentakill for Artemis. He hasn't been able to get one. Did he get one? I feel like he got one.
There was only 3 kills.
Not sure.
There was only 3 kills done.
Then early on in the split, I think he got 1 chasing down targets in an enemy base.
I think you might
memory
be
serves
right.
correctly.
I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, we'll find out. As look at the build out of Yado. I really like this. Just put the rapid fire cannon. Hell yeah. Get those big long range stuns. Let's go.
It's such a troll though.
It is so troll.
Everyone's building it
I love
now,
it.
man. Everyone is building it now. I always look at it and like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't know.
I don't know either. It is really good utility. It is like,
yeah, that's true.
Hybrid TF is a thing, right? So
yeah, that's true.
I guess it's not terrible. It's pretty standard at this point as well. And
oh dear
God, he was spotted out of line for a moment, and they had to burn a stone plate and an ult to save him. Truly, an injured dog bites hard, because they cut Cerberus in game 1, and now Cerberus have ripped their leg off.
Cerberus actually let the guard down. Someone entered the underworld in the last game for the first time ever. So now they have to kick him out again.
I like how we think they're going into the underworld, not trying to escape. The Buffalo are trying to go to hell.
True.
Not sure of my mythology on that one, but what I am sure is that Pun has summoned up a ram. He's found style. Is there enough follow-up here? There's a lot of damage being dealt back. Pun does have to flash away. Looks like perhaps
damage.
a bit of an overdone engage. 𝗁𝗶𝗵 already going in. There's a shockwave hitting too. The zoning bullet time as well. Style has finally fallen to the 𝗕𝘂𝗳𝗃𝗃 of 𝗬𝗏. They're going to keep going forward. 𝗬𝗏𝗔's gone gold. 𝗁𝗶𝗵 should go down. The inhib fell as well.
Nice. Good job, Hin. Good job. Get more kills, please.
And they're hitting the Nexus towers here. There's just a bit of a tickle damage. It's a bit bold to try and end until you have another wave, but now that other wave has arrived. 𝗵𝗂𝗏, if you want your 2-0, this is your last chance saloon as they're coming forward.
Don't cleanse before the card lands, please. Don't. What was that cleanse? That was so bad.
Maybe he thought he could cleanse the lock-on and the card would get lost. He tried to move house so the post didn't arrive.
So the prediction here for Saiga and 𝗵𝗂𝗏, as 𝗕𝘂𝗧𝗏 would say, he really likes to spam that.
Yeah, I mean, it is, right? Like, let's be completely honest. This kind of is a game you could surrender if you weren't in professional play.
Absolutely.
If you weren't in professional play, this is a surrenderable game. But you may as well play it to your 1% chance of victory to potentially take a very big series. Can't blame them for that one.
Generous.
I mean, 1% is not generous.
Look at the items. All items are coming in now.
You're right, but
Artemis has 4 items plus stopwatch plus an on upgrade, while Style is sitting on 2.
Maybe I just believe in magic a little bit more than you. I believe in the twinkle in a young boy's eye on Christmas morning. Maybe that kind of magic is going to be enough to get them back in the game. But if we return to the land of actual seriousness and taking our job seriously, yeah, no, this game's over. Cerberus wins.
Wait, what is constituting the sparkles coming out of this skin? Sometimes it sparkles. A W probably, right?
Crits or the W, right? It'd be crits or the W.
Yeah.
As we do have the last fight, a little bit more important than the sparkle discussion, as 𝗬𝗏𝗔 has stolen an ult but cannot redirect the ram. And this should be the final push. There is only one Nexus tower. Fate's Call is used. The knock-up is not bad. The shockwave isn't either. But look at this. They're beating them to death with money they've mined as they are just going forward. It doesn't matter the level of play. That was a well-executed fight from the 𝗵𝗂𝗏. But when you are this far behind, you need to do better than well. 𝗬𝗏𝗔 desperately running forward to try and keep his team in it. And Artemis, he is bloodthirsty. They're not even hitting the Nexus. They want to give him more kills. And 𝗬𝗏𝗪, damn you, he takes it away. And there it is. Cerberus, they put their real roster in. And of course, they bring us to 1-1. Woo! That was quite the game.
So silly. Why are we still here?
Just to suffer. Every night, I feel my arm. My leg. Vinnie, welcome back. Now, you of course have been working on your analysis all game, so please give us an in-depth breakdown of what happened that game. I expect big things out of you here.
Well, Froggy. No, yeah, that first play kind of threw it off, and then it was just very, very, very clean play out of the 𝗵𝗂𝗏s. Not the 𝗵𝗂𝗏s, Cerberus. The other ones. The 𝗵𝗂𝗏 played around their grey screens very well. But
clean execution of that one.
Yeah, so it's not too much to say.
Who was the MVP? I have no idea. Please tell me. You saw the game.
Artemis, let's go.
It honestly could be Artemis, but I'm sort of leaning towards Pun.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it to Pun because I think he made a huge itemization mistake that opened a window.
Yeah, he also got kind of got a lot of kills. I really like 𝗬𝗏𝗪's early acceleration plays with TF.
Yeah, 𝗬𝗬𝗪's TF was.
Yeah, I think it's 𝗬𝗏𝗪 personally. I think we'll give MVP to 𝗬𝗏𝗪. That Twisted Fate was fantastic. We see why it's a contested pick between these two teams because they both love it. But 𝗬𝗏𝗪 is a force to be reckoned with
Shout out to Ron as well. All the engages. Flash, Q are very confident, starting all the team fights, setting up Artemis. Very, very good.
Absolutely. All of their players honestly played really well. In other games, any of those performances could get MVP. But in this one, where all five happened, we have to pick, and we've picked 𝗬𝗨. We'll be back in just over 5 minutes, guys, to bring you the final game of this Saturday, week 4. It's been a weird one, boys. But it's been a fun one, at least. Now, we've recovered. We've come back from the planet mauled to the planet fun. And that's where we like to be. So here on VCS English, we do ask that we stay there. Please. We'll be back in 5 minutes to find out. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You should go down below the stream and join the Discord where you can join in the molding, because I assure you, I am not alone. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody. We have our final game of tonight here on VCS English, bringing you all the VCS action. Cerberus got it back on track and did take game 2. Turns out, when you play your real team, you generally play better. So they are in game 3, and assuming no insane substitutions, you've got to favour them for this one, don't we, boys?
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, everyone predicted a 2-0 for Cerberus. No one is going to change to Saigon Buffalo with the real team in now. Yeah. Pan is still in, though, so he's getting a little bit of experience and stage time, and he has looked decent. Yep. So why not? Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It's probably actually smarter, because LL would have to come in. He's not warmed up.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to be cold. He may as well just keep Pan in because he played well. I mean, he's had 2 good games.
Yeah.
To be honest, LL is the most stable player in the VCS, in my opinion. So he's probably just going to sit down, lock in Renekton, get 10 CS lead, and contribute to his team.
And be
as always.
Yeah.
LL, it's almost like they're running a script. It's not even a player, it's just a script. But that's not a bad thing. You can play around him all the time. You're always exactly the same.
So consistent.
Yeah, and it's a good consistency. So that is good. So how did the Buffalo give themselves a chance in this one? Not easy.
Yeah. I mean, in my notes, I wrote down Sal needs to outperform Artemis.
I mean,
you ask, right? What can I say?
The note's not wrong.
It's not wrong, but I mean, it is a factor of
also not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's unlikely, but it's
unlikely is a very generous word. Unlikely. Yeah.
Oh boy. And the bands so far looking the same. Zoe, Syndra, Wukong, Senna removed. Do they ban the TF? Because I can see the Buffalo first picking it. Thresh removed also. That one's a bit different. Fun play.
Bar priority higher now? Oh, Nidalee banned instead.
Okay.
Grace first pick.
Is definitely saying, oh no, they are going to go for TF, but it's definitely saying, you get TF, but we're going to get Kalista. or you're
And
going to get
Grace.
Ballista. We don't give a shit about your Ballista, but we're going to get. Then we get TF.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think this will be the Graves lock-in. Zhuhao likes the champion. I do like the Twisted Fate pick. They were in a very lose-lose situation where they have to pick the Twisted Fate because it's going to sound harsh. It's the only champion Froggy's looked good on. And even...
His Nico has looked excellent.
His Nico was... Yeah, okay, fair enough. They could have picked Nico, but I don't think that fits the style they want to play against Cerberus. I think Twisted Fate's fine. But look at the answer. Graves, Callista, bang, bang.
Yeah, that was super easy to predict.
Yeah.
That's always good when we see predictable drafts, because that means teams actually play tier list, and that is mostly a good thing.
Kind of like it at the moment. The teams are like, the champions are looking at each other.
There on it. Nah. Then I question your tier list.
Fair point. But there we go. Ash rounds out the first half of the Buffalo comp. And Vinny, so far, what do you think of this one? Is that a 3-champion core that can beat the Cerberus?
I think it's an okay core. I probably would have liked a different jungler. The Rek'Sai giving Meliodas that early game pressure is questionable because he hasn't looked so great on the sort of ganking junglers. And like last game, we saw him waste a lot of time just hanging around the top lane, trying to get an inroad, but it wasn't going anywhere. Meanwhile, the Graves, he's able to just sort of show up when he's needed and do damage. So I don't really like this pick. And I'm not a huge fan of the Karma lock-in, but it's not that bad.
Very hard to match the roams though. Like Froggy has full control of the roam game with the Twisted Fate.
Cerberus is actually opting into a Saigon Buffalo draft. This is very, very akin to what Saigon Buffalo looks best at. Double ADC composition plus Karma. So it looks like Cerberus has studied Saigon Buffalo and wants to beat them at their own game, which is always fun to see.
Absolutely. And they have removed the 2 champions that Husmed might have been able to pull them over the line, as Akali and Kennen are gone. What do they do with their R4 pick here? Wouldn't be surprised to see a support, unless they want to keep the Karma flex possible.
Karma's not going to be support with Callista.
That's true. Okay, but they're going to give a top lane. So it looks like the support counter pick.
Looks like it's going to be a support counter pick. You can still flex that down there if you really want, or maybe flex around what your lane assignments maybe, but
I just want Husmed to hard counter pick this on. That's what he has to do. Pick Kayle.
Oh, yeah.
About to say it. He hovered it as I said it, so I didn't look as smart. But there it is. This
Finally.
is a great pick. This is real now. Husmed can carry now.
Yeah. Sadly, Kayle doesn't fit the highlights from the first 3 picks because she doesn't look at the same direction. So she's kind of disconnected with the team. I want to highlight though the 2 support bans from Saigon Buffalo in the second rotation. They banned away Alistar, which I feel like is super, super smart into a potential counter pick support, because all their champs are very vulnerable to Alistar engages. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
They will just take the Bard, who continues to have a pretty disgusting win rate in the VCS, even though he has now picked up a few more losses. It's definitely a good one for 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗆. We've got all 10 champs picked, lads. And Vinny, start us off. Turn the nameplates off. What comp do you like?
I know there are both picks with the comps that I look at and I'm not a huge fan of.
Yep.
I think you definitely didn't if you wanted a Enchanter type support in the bot lane, you might as well have just put your Karma down there. The Braum pick, I think you could have gone with something much better, but
for them.
Yeah, you could have gone with the Bard. You could have gone with something that you could have even maybe, if you wanted to try for like a Lulu and try and have a Juggernaut Kayle, Jugger Kayle instead of a Jugger Kog'Maw. But I don't know. I think overall Cerberus is much more normal.
I also think it's very hard to Buffalo to navigate Bard. They're a low range comp against a Bard. That's not fun.
Yeah, and if Pun can put on the performance like he did last game, I don't think 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗃's going to matter that much because team fights will just get smashed before she comes online.
Yeah, for me, Second Buffalo's draft is just a little bit too defensive. They have no real engage, very bad engage options. 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗃 needs a lot of time to scale to level 11 at least, because before level 11 she's not that useful, and then Pun can make so much more happen on the map early on. I feel like Cerberus has drafted themselves into a very risky position where they fall off quite hard. They don't really have the damage in the late game, but their mid game is looking super strong.
Absolutely. So, Vinny, give us a short thought and who is going to take the series.
One short thought is I'm looking at Zhuhao this game, and I'm hoping he builds lethality because it's a very squishy comp on the side of SGB, and they'll need that extra damage.
Fair point.
And that's important.
Who's going to win?
I think Cerberus is going to win because, yeah, we've got player diff at hand, don't we?
Yeah.
Was couple last game, and that did nothing for them. So,
yeah, player diff is often very, very strong, but we'll have to see if Vinny's predictions come true, or if it will be a Buffalo upset. That would be a huge upset, and this one would be a pretty real win. Game 1, okay, not much pride in that one there, Buffalo, but you take game 3 and you take the series. That's real. So, you're a Buffalo fan.
I am so scared for Saigon Buffalo's bot lane. These two champs together, and 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 is the Bard master. I mean, we have a lot of good Bard players, but 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 is number 1, I'd say.
Oh, no question.
Also, Artemis on the one Kalista game he has played, he looked insane. So I am so scared for Stahl and Hin. Can they survive the bot lane? Ashe is quite good into both of these champs, but I still don't know. Could be a rough one.
I definitely think it could. Hin, to be fair, while the rest of his team has kind of been struggling, Hin has actually been quietly overachieving. We often talk about it being the 𝗂𝗲𝗏 show, but Hin definitely has his own segments. As the first stun lands, no follow-up, but landing the stun.
And the top lane, it's actually super interesting to see 𝗘𝗀𝗏 on blue side, because usually she's the last pick, right, into on. We mostly only see her into on. She has some other matchups she could be picked in. It's quite risky. And red side 𝗘𝗀𝗏, even though you see her on red side, is actually the worst side for her to play, I'd argue, because it's much easier to gank her. So blue side 𝗏𝗏 is going to be insanely safe. She can just freeze here forever, and keep the minion wave at this point forever, and just scale up. As you can see, she's super comfortable in lane. And Pun needs to overextend. We already see the first ping from Meliodas. They want to get the first one on Pun, and maybe get 𝗂𝗏𝗏 ahead.
That they do, and I mean, honestly, this is why I would have liked if they'd saved the last pick for the top lane. Did you need to save it for the Bard? Bard was a good pick already. Just force 𝗂𝗏𝗏. He can't pick 𝗘𝗀𝗏 blind. You can't blind 𝗘𝗀𝗏. So just pick the Ornn last. That's fine. But speaking of Ornn, he's going to have to try and get something done. He charges away. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 charging forward. There's the flash. It's followed and it's tunneled. There's the knockup, and that is a 𝗘𝗀𝗏 with first blood.
Can 𝗂𝗏𝗏 do it all? It's time for the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏 show. Can he be the best team in the league right now? He might be the best single player in the league.
Maybe.
And he has had the craziest single carry performance so far. 17 kills on Cannon. Can he do it again?
Absolutely. We need to think of a theme song for the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏 show, because it's becoming a recommended watch every week. Froggy's in some trouble.
Sure.
He's super low, and he just rips that flash. And he gets out.
So Froggy this time running the how's to call again? Nimbus Cloak, of course, on TF. I was very surprised he didn't run Nimbus Cloak on his Orianna last game, probably going Mana Flow instead for some early mana, a little bit better lane control. But it cost him big time, because in the very first play, of course, he didn't have the extra movement speed. This time, of course, he gets away, and Nimbus Cloak, basically take Nimbus Cloak everywhere, because that rune is not balanced.
It's a broken rune. If you can use Nimbus Cloak, use Nimbus Cloak. That thing is hella broken. Hunt has returned to the top lane, and his sadness continues. Go ahead.
𝗂𝗧𝗏 with the early boots, so he's even safer. It's not going to be great in terms of early trading, and he doesn't really want to 1v1 Pan, I think, so he's just going to farm. He could have gone for a tier here. I know it's not the usual meta build on Kayle, but if you just scale up with the first kill already going your way, you could actually go for the Muramana, which is a very efficient item, of course, as we all know, built on all the ADCs now, and it can work on Kayle as well. It gives you a weak laning phase, but into Pan, I think you probably can get away with that. So a little bit surprised by first item boots. It gives him so much more safety. He used his flash, so he needed the added safety. On the other hand, we have Cerberus now immediately engaged the dragon. This should be first dragon easily picked up by Zhuhao.
Yep, this is uncontestable, but it's going to be traded. But Pun sees the Rek'Sai riding the subway and clocks him around the head so he can walk away. Very well done there by the Ornn. They're just going to go round 2, surely. No, he's just clearing the ward. So, a little bit, we might, we'll talk about it after this one. No, it's just going to be a bit of poke. There is an interesting discussion to be had about the Rek'Sai as they're setting up for a dive. They have the Kayle ult. I'll come back to the point I wanted to make. There's the Twisted Fate. Pun is in some trouble. Lands a good knock-up, though. Can they get out of here? There's the Kayle ult being used, and the worm has turned. As 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗏 goes down, the Rams called. They want to take down the Angel as well. Of course they do. Cerberus wants to kill the Angels, protecting hell as always, and Pun doesn't even go down to the auto attack. He flashes the thumbs up.
Deja vu here, and then in the second game, what is going on? They go for the dive way too deep, and man,
deja vu.
2 kills.
We have been
2 kills
before.
over to Cerberus. Absolutely, yeah. It looks like almost the same play as in the last game. Overextended.
Almost in the same spot as well, just a little bit further top. Let's have a look at this replay. It starts off with a good play from Pun.
Yeah, and 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗏 goes, never
go
mind.
back to live. We don't have time. As Unofficial has gone down. What a VCS moment. Hin, very low. It's actually a 1-for-1.
Nicely done from Artemis. Perfectly used his cleanse and flash to get away after his slight overextension for the kill. But kiting back with Kalista using his martial stance. I think martial. Yeah, I think it's martial stance.
Martial tempo. I don't know.
I'm not sure. His passive to jump around all the time.
The hops. That's what matters. But he's got to keep going now. He hopes those knees are doing well, but he's been caught, knocked up, and knocked down.
Oh, the sun.
Look how deep they are.
All the minions. Can someone come here? No, all the TPs were used top lane. So another kill over to 𝗂𝗏𝗏. Well executed dive, and Artemis really did not think they would go for this dive.
No.
Every time I see Kalista against never mind me, another attempt at top lane.
They are. Zhuhao is up here. Wonder if I could finally make this Rek'Sai point, and it might actually be coming true. Because Black Cleaver is really bad this game. Look at your team comp. They are AP damage dealers aside from Ashe. You should go lethality Rek'Sai. We saw it in NA. Speaker of TSM built it, and it worked. Actually, I don't know if they won the game, but from what I hear, it was pretty effective. Don't watch NA. Why would you? But here we are. I would really like to see lethality Rek'Sai. You don't need a Black Cleaver. Whose damage are you helping?
Yeah, I agree. And the first item, of course, is super cheap you want to build, and gives you a lot of vision control. So yeah, I would like to see that too. The longswords right now, you can't deduct anything from that. He's going to build a lot of longswords in this build, so who knows where that is going.
And while we were talking about Shark itemization, there was an uncontested Rift Herald picked up by Cerberus. Those map movements we oh so often praise coming into effect, and this is going to be a lot of gold mined away from this top
to be
tower.
the turret.
I think so.
Kayle is trying to get there, but I think they have enough time.
Yeah, I think so. Double ADC. Ooh, 3 minions.
Graves, you should get closer to the turret, please.
Yep, he's got all the pellets are hitting it. All the pellets are hitting.
He missed a few. But okay execution.
Okay, pun called in the ult. It was immediately shielded by Hin. The ram hit the door. There's a 𝗕𝘂𝗧𝗕 into an enchanted crystal arrow. But out of nowhere, 𝗬𝗃, the tempered fate, has changed Pun's fate. As 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗵 arrives, they're turning it around, and it's all because of 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗵. Look what this man has done. He has sung the song that bards will tell for ages. And it's 2 towers in the top lane. It's a prevented play in the bot lane, and this is why Cerberus are the best in the league.
If at first you don't succeed, try again to dive the tank in the top lane? Maybe not. Please don't do that again.
To be fair, were you expecting that tempered fate? Because I was ready to call him dead. And then 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗕𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗕𝗏. I've always thought
living up to his name
you're
again.
not allowed to put no OP in your name, but now Ron is. Look at this. Where is he? He's just past the inner tower, and boom! Shuts the play down.
And then also the Guardian keeping Pun alive. Pun even goes back in with a flash W here. It uses his Triumph to get so much health back. Now, oh man, it has all backfired. 𝗕𝗂𝗶, what? This man is single-handedly carrying the Bard win rate, by the way. Yeah. 5th game on Bard. He has won every single one so far. He's still undefeated, of course.
Yep.
So this will be the 5th win in a row on 𝗕𝗂𝗶 Bard.
If they win. It's not over yet. It's only a 2k gold lead. It's looking good for Cerberus, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But they still have to do a little bit more before I'm willing to call it. But truly, so many D&D players are smiling brightly because this Bard is completely busted. 𝗕𝗂𝗶. Just that one play. Can we give him MVP now? I don't even care if they win the game. That was the MVP play.
I mean, he also landed a lot of good stunts already in this lane. So.
But, think about the impact of that play. Not just saving
it was insane.
They were trying to trade the push, so they at least got 1 tower, and then Husmed could farm. That play stopped them losing bot tower, including the plates, which meant that they got 2 towers top and 2 kills for nothing. That 𝗕𝗂𝗶 play just made them about 3,000 gold with 1 ult.
It's such an insane play. He is really impressive, this split. Where did this come from? Like, last split he was good. The split before he was really bad. So a very strange performance curve. Because, of course, 2 years ago he was insane. So he's back to that form. And that's one big factor to Cerberus' success. Yeah, definitely Artemis is there as well as the best ADC so far. But 𝗕𝗂𝗶 is also there as by far the best support, I'd argue. So, very impressive stuff on the bot lane.
It would be very bold to take that argument against you. I truly believe you would be on the sides of facts and logic and would win that debate. As a teleport's been called just to counter the Twisted Fate ult. Perhaps a little bit presumptuous, but safety first.
Yeah. See, you can see the state of the game when the Twisted Fate ults defensively. There is almost always an indictment.
Oh no, it's happening again! 𝗕𝗂𝗶's turned him gold, and truly, he is the master of fate! As he says, my boy, Artemis, here are 2 kills. I've laid them out for you. Please, come eat your dinner. And Artemis has had that delicious snack.
I think double fate is just too strong. Fate's call and the tempered fate. I mean, what can you even do against someone who controls fate in two different ways? One way is strong enough already, but tempered fate and on top of that, Fate's call just too strong.
They do at least get something back, as 𝗬𝗃 was perhaps riding the hype. Thought there was going to be a Bard ult to save his life, because that's apparently just what 𝗕𝗂𝗶 does, but he can't do it that often. As now they're on the run. And I've got to point out, while that play was happening bot, 𝗕𝗂𝗫𝗃 tried to gank Pun again. 𝗕𝗂𝗫𝗃, you got to do something else, mate. You got one string in your banjo, and it broke about 3 years ago. Get a new banjo, mate. Come on. Doesn't do anything.
I mean, to be honest, looking at the stats from 𝗕𝗂𝗫𝗃, 3-1-1, looking like a vintage performance on his very good ganking junglers. He was known for his ganking junglers a few years ago. I think back to MSI 2019, last year. They overwhelmed G2 in 2 games back-to-back in the group stage with a lot of good carry performances from 𝗕𝗂𝗫𝗃. So this should be his playstyle. So far, he has only played Graves and Kindred to success. But
Well, I mean, yeah, he's 3-1-1, because every now and then you grub a couple of kills. Let's be honest. Let's not be results-based analysts. Would you call this a good game out of 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗧? Because I don't think I would. And look at them going forward. The tether has landed. They just need to find a tiny little bit more damage as Hin is desperately holding up the door. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 a little bit too deep, but the flash is good. Ooh, 𝗕𝗂𝗏𝗏 charging in. Throws the gold card, but I don't think they want to go on this.
And they get another objective from this one. They have a little bit of priority on top side. They could just go to 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗧. Don't want to let their mid lane be exposed to a counter push. So it seems like Cerberus...
Oh, no! Not again! Twisted Fate meets Tempered Fate! Oh, it didn't happen. Damn it. But he hits another stun. What OP? Jesus Christ. Calm down.
These stuns are not fair when 𝗁𝗏𝗏 is playing Bard. They connect with everything. It's what can you even do against that?
As 𝗲𝗲 is still beating Pun. I mean, 𝗓 never comes back in this matchup. It actually just doesn't matter. 𝗬𝗀 wins this lane so hard. So they will have to do something about 𝗲𝗲 in the side lane. They do need to do something.
So there was one very smart on, and it's a few weeks, maybe even a month ago, where LS was tweeting out he loved this build, and on went for an early 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 to actually just push out the wave. He gets like, chunked to like 20% HP, just runs to his turrets, waits for the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 to get all his HP back, and then you can just do the same again. You just get abused all the time by the 𝗬𝗀, but it doesn't actually matter because you have infinite HP. So I'd like to see that again this game. I think the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is still pretty far away looking at his itemization so far. But maybe in the late game to save them from losing side lane turrets.
And despite both of these junglers having the opportunity to go the optimal lethality, really contribute to their team, both of them are building a Black Cleaver. Oh well, no big brain itemization here. But, and this is good for 𝗁𝗏𝗏, they have just stopped the Dragon Snowball as they get a Cloud Drake. But look what Cerberus are doing. You take Drake, we take towers.
They can't even get there in time to defend the second one. Can they even defend the third one?
It'll get
it's going to be dangerous.
I think, no, the smite.
A good smite.
Good smite. Now, can they get them on the way out? There's an Enchanted Crystal Harrow onto Zhu Hao. There's so much follow-up. He is insta-dead. The journey is taken by... Oh, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, you can't go into the middle of three people. Ooh, never mind. He's messiahed it. But the ram comes in. It is blocked by the door. The Tempered Fate hits 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. Well done there. But 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is in the middle of the enemy team. And the 𝗁𝗏𝗏 are turning this one around. It was one bridge too far for Cerberus. And this hit's still going. 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗧 just took that ult. Why would you take that ult, son?
Yeah, he completely disrespected Yada's shield. Yada waited for him and just shielded 𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏 turned around, stunned him again. So this is a one fight for Saigon Buffalo, and I also have to point out that Cerberus once again commit the same mistake they've shown us a few times now. The third Drake is a Drake they almost never get. They seem to really forget about the third Drake. They always set up the first two for a good snowball, but then forget about the third.
Let's have a look at this one.
At this engage. Well done. Very good ultimate, of course, to engage on how he immediately dies. That's a very good burst. And at this point, Cerberus should try to disengage. But they split up here, and this looked dicey from 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. Way too far forward, but they have so much immunity on the with 𝗬𝗀 ult. With he gets oh man, so much Tempered Fate.
𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 should really be renaming himself to 𝗲𝗏𝗏 at this point because he turned the reverse 𝗲𝗏𝗏, I suppose, because he turned to gold.
Turned to gold so many times in that fight. Needs another 𝗁𝗏𝗏 to be able to take gold one more time. That was quite funny to see. But they still lack the damage to chase down Cerberus.
And I think the big thing there as well was Pun sort of split off from his team saying, well, that means I can throw the ram down the alley and get a strike. But Hin said, bowling alley's closed, mate. Put up the barriers. And that CC was very, very important. Had that Ornn ram come through, Cerberus probably wins that fight. Oh, another
Yep,
arrow, but miss. Ooh, doesn't actually immune it. He's taking a lot of damage here. He is tanky though, flashes away. 𝗬𝗧's arrived, all 10 in the bot lane. You know they want it. 𝗕𝗂𝗧 swims away. A lot of damage did just whip across the Buffalo, but they will not stop. There's a knock up. The gold card is there. The 𝗬𝗪 use. The tempered fate turns them all gold, but can they mine the gold? We'll have to find out. The health bars are low, but the karma healing and shielding is massive. Another stun out of 𝗕𝗂𝗃. This man is going mental. Tether from 𝗬𝗪. Will there be the follow-up? Of course there is. And only Hin limps away.
And they got Baron. Baron is very far away and spawning in 20 seconds. So probably not. The wave will arrive, so this will just be a second turret and much more gold for Cerberus. We actually see the potential for 𝗕𝗂𝗪𝗏's composition. We talked about the composition if we didn't have the teams. Actually looks quite good for 𝗕𝗂𝗪𝗏, and for sure showed in that team fight. But 𝗕𝗂𝗃 just a little bit too OP, as we can see here again. Also, good timing on pump.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's so insane, man. What is that?
And this is a close fight. If that hadn't hit 3, that could turn.
The Q to hit.
Look,
right?
boom, boom.
Now,
he got the kill. Oh my god.
He deserved that one. He deserves every single kill of this game. This is the most insane Bard performance I've seen since LPL Finals 5th game. It's wow.
This is
what is going on?
We've talked, and I've made a lot of jokes about players being Chads. Unfortunately, this time Brad's connected. Because here we are. It's the Brad Bard. Oh my god, 𝗕𝗂𝗃.
Sure, the Brad Bard.
What? How is he doing this?
Yeah, his ultimates, man.
I'm losing my mind. I can't handle it.
Too much Ute.
Yeah,
and now they turn on the Baron, and will there be...
Oh, but look at this.
Wow.
In the bot lane, 𝗂𝗃 will pick up Pun and... 𝗂𝗃? Oh my god, 𝗂𝗃. And there's a tempered fate. 𝗕𝗂𝗃 once again gets the fight started. And the Buffalo have got to find a way out. Style is very low. In fact, he's on 0. 𝗬𝗪 goes in the ground. He jumps into the journey, but will be followed in no short order. And now it's just Hin and 𝗏𝗏gy with everything to do. Well, if only they had a 𝗬𝗪 who could TP in. But 𝗂𝗃 lost 0v1.
So they don't really have any wards for the 𝗂𝗃 to TP in, so this Baron should be free. At least they can get another Cloud Dragon, which, I mean, it's a nice consolation price, I guess, but not really enough.
Can they? Look at the teleport. Here comes Pun to ruin the fun. He gets the double lock-up. He's burned him down and he claps them together. Double kill for Pun. Baron for Cerberus. Cloud Drake for Cerberus. And this is why we hype him up.
𝗕𝗂𝗃, nice. Very nice. He finally messes up something in this game.
You're
He's
allowed
human
to make that
all.
one mistake. That's just to prove he's not a bot. He's not botting. He's allowed. He made a mistake.
Well, I didn't even know you could do that. How did this happen?
This is just 𝗂𝗃 turning his brain off. There's no other explanation.
I mean, this kill is very nicely done. He uses his ult after already taking turret aggro, so it denies a lot of damage. He could now just...
Walk away!
Oh, man.
There's no minions. It had the backdoor protection. And then 𝗕𝗂𝗃 comes in once
He actually
more.
misses the first Q here. Oh, no.
Oh no, he doesn't have 100% stun rate. But look at this. Once that engage happened, they were caught between two sides of a corridor and they had no hope. 𝗬𝗪, that was pretty bad. Are we going to get the third part of the replay? Because there was part 3 where Pun came in and gave him the clang. Don't quite see that.
But I don't think we will look at that again, even though it was a very cool play from Pun. And once again, shout out to Pun, the On Master. Yeah. His timings on the E's I've never seen an On be this precise on his E timings. He hits every single one perfectly when the enemy just arrived or just went over that terrain part. So very nicely done. His side laning has been a little bit of a problem, of course. Being counterpicked doesn't help, but his team fighting is clean.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe other than that Warmogs tech you did bring up, which would be very smart, it's not a lot Ornn can do into 𝗬𝗪. It doesn't matter how good your mechanics are. But there is a 𝗬𝗪𝗓. Not sure what it was meant to accomplish, if I'm totally honest. The tower had already fallen.
Hey,
the in here...
Give them half a second.
Ooh, the inhib is under siege. Pun is tickled as the redemption lands. Ooh, a tempered fate that misses. Actually, did it miss, or was it all part of the plan? With 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗴, I lean towards the latter.
You never know.
I believe in 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗴. But
yeah, after what he's shown this game, you can't really doubt him for anything.
This is so aggressive. He was just frontlining. Now they're escaping the Twisted Fate ult. The trigger is not pulled. He just uses it.
But we can see some of the struggles in this game for 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. They are short-ranged, and they failed to break the inhibitor, even with Baron, but now is another attempt.
Yep.
There was... Oh, Braum blocked that one. Okay. Yep. The Forge God was called... the Forge God called some fire thingy. I was still always get confused.
Call of the Forge God is the ram.
I know. But what does he actually call? What is the thing called he's calling?
It's I don't think it has a name. It's like a manifestation of him, I think.
Ah, so he calls himself. Okay.
I think it's something like that. It's like a spirit or something. I don't know. Because 𝗬𝗏 is a god of the 𝗓𝗏𝗏. He's like Volibear in him.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's calling.
So we have the god of the 𝗓𝗏𝗏 fighting against the queen of the 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏. So far, the god is for sure winning. Ash doesn't really have a chance.
Oh, Tempered Fate gets the Kayle flash. Good trade. 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗴, he's making it happen once again. He's feeling it this game. You can tell. You can tell when a player's really feeling the performance.
Yeah.
And 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗏 is absolutely popping and locking all over this dance floor.
These are the games you watch and immediately want to play Bard. Just realize that playing Bard is so...
and then you realize you don't actually know what Bard does. Go 0 and 10 and uninstall for a little while.
Playing Bard is still super fun. Not just running around collecting all your collectibles. It's a super cool mini game. But having this much impact on Bard is not that easy. It's
This might be one of the biggest support carries I've ever seen. There have been some big ones, don't get me wrong, but this is up there.
This is definitely up there. 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗏 showing us why this Bard is still undefeated.
You've just got to ban it. Oh, man.
So will we see the Death Crown, or will we see the Obsidian Cleaver next upgraded from Pun? Pun also opting into more MR. I don't really like to see more MR here. I don't think it will actually help him in the matchup. I think
it's okay, because we do only have one more level on the 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗏 timer for Kayle. Level 15 Kayle at the moment. One more level on the 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗏 timer. I hope chat's tracking it. It is level 16 Kayle, right? It's not what it was right after the rework. She still lives that kind of mythos. We're like, oh, she hit 16, GG. No, it's not quite like that. Not yet. Not anymore.
She's a very strong champion at 16.
She's very strong.
But her damage...
This is a big gold lead and a big tempo lead.
And there's a big problem for her in this team composition, and that is called Cloud Soul. Actually very impactful here, because everyone can run away from her ultimate. And her ultimate on level 16 has more than 500 base damage, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a lot of damage in her build.
Yeah.
So no one can really utilize that AoE damage to its full effect. Think back to Worlds, where we saw the Kayle-Kai'Sa combination. Just the very, very dangerous bomb in the late game, where you just put the Kayle ult on Kai'Sa and she ults in. No regards to being an ADC.
The strat equivalent to underarm throwing a frag grenade at someone. That's basically... It's not going to get far enough away to not blow up on you as well, but it probably will kill 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. So Cerberus is taking it slow, though, so they have to play around another Baron, and there is an opportunity for 𝐳𝗏𝗏𝗏 maybe to find fight. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 has hit level 16. He's strong. He's working on a 3rd item. His ADC, sadly... As always, is very useless.
Cloud Soul was also secured. We didn't actually note that. Style takes the mantra Q and half of his health bar vanishes. The instant Kayle TP, and they just say, well, we don't even have to TP to clear this wall. We have Bard. As they get away, they go to Baron. And you know that if Buffalo sticks one toe out of line, they'll turn. And there it is, right as I say it, there it is, Tempered Fate only lands onto Hin, and he'd actually already done his job blocking the ram. There's a Fate's Call, there's a big knock-up, but it's turned around with a huge 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗏𝗏 Fissure. But look at Pun's damage, it doesn't matter, he is taking him to the pound town. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is doing everything he can on this Kayle, he's getting the auto attacks off, they're actually doing a lot. That's a lot of AoE damage, but he goes down. 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has taken it, Style is on full health. Can you do this, son? This is your time to shine, and I believe he might end up being a 𝗕𝗂𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗕𝗥. No, I've called it too soon. He gets one. He's got to run. That's a speedy Artemis, and there is the spear into the last of the Buffalo's hopes.
So, a very close team fight. We see the potential of Saigon Buffalo's comp again. They are so far down in gold. They're down in Cloud Soul and still are able to fight this very closely. 𝗬𝗪 and Pan almost go down as well. Sadly, of course, Artemis on full HP. Pan can teleport in, so this Baron will go over to Cerberus again. This should be the final nail in the coffin to close out this game, but it's not an easy one for Cerberus. They have to work for their victory here.
They do, because 𝗬𝗪, god damn, this man does not want to lose. He plays games. He does not want to lose. He played that 𝗘𝗀𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗏. Look at the damage he does in this replay when we get into it. Watch this 𝗘𝗀𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗏. There he is. He's not spooled up yet. Bang. Yeah. Sorry?
The big thing about 𝗘𝗀𝗥𝗕𝗥 in this team fight is she had to ult herself. That is some of the worst thing you can do on 𝗘𝗀𝗥, because of course he had to do it, so you can't really get around it. But you never want to do it because you take away a lot of DPS. While your ult is channeling, you can't use auto attacks. Mm-hmm. So he kind of costs himself like 1.5 seconds of auto attacking. Look at this. All the time he can't auto attack. Of course, the ult is on for 1.5 seconds longer, but it's not enough damage. And 𝗁𝗂𝗶 with a good positioning gets the kill there. Well played.
I'm also going to give a lot of credit. The only reason 𝗬𝗪 didn't die immediately after his ult ended was Hin. Hin got in between him and the rest of the team and really stopped the follow-up, made that fight super, super close. So good on you, Hin. Gave him a bit of a chance. And I don't like that we're seeing players here, Yulwei. We should be seeing League of Legends. Where is the League of Legends? Return
League of Legends.
The League of Legends. Where is it?
Well, I mean, it's not that bad for me because my internet just died, so I had to reset the stream anyway. Thank you, 𝗕𝗂𝗶. Very helpful.
Very helpful. This is... Remember in the spring final, Game 5, Flash is about to win, and then we had a 20-minute pause.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
That was so fun, trying to maintain the hype. Flash is going to win the split. They've got the... Oh, it's a 20-minute pause. Awesome.
Do you remember when the pause was over? It was like 1 minute of gameplay and the game was over.
They literally walked into straight. It was like, just let the lagged out player stay lagged out. It didn't matter. It really, really didn't. Maybe they're checking 𝗁𝗂𝗶's PC. He might have hacks.
Yeah.
Probably
the script has been detected.
Yeah, I think they're detecting those bard scripts. All those little mistakes, he was just doing it to throw them off the scent. But they've definitely found 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗍. You know that story? I found it really funny.
No.
There's a guy who was playing in his first Counter-Strike tournament. He was cheating. Got caught very quickly because it's super obvious. And the refs came up and he was like, no, that's not a cheat file. It's just like our strats, because it was called, the file was called 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗥𝗍 because he tried to pretend it was a Word file. And they were just like,
wow.
No, that is literally just a hacking pro. Like, you're disqualified and you're permanently banned. Like, good job, man. What did you do? What a waste of time. So now it's always a running joke. Like, ooh, has he got 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗥𝗍 running?
How do you cheat in CS? Do you, are you able to shoot through walls?
So you can. Okay. So it depends how blatant you want to be. If you're just like
okay.
Complete, like if you're like, I'm going to get caught, I don't care. You can look through walls. You can make it so that the computer drags your crosshair dead on his head. It's called spin botting, because what you literally do is you spin ridiculously fast in a circle while jumping, and you'll just shoot everyone on the map because it just kills them. You'll get banned instantly if you do that because it's super obvious. But if you want to be more subtle, what people can do is have it so that your aim hack only corrects a little bit, so you never just miss. So you have to be good enough to get close, but then it'll make sure you always hit the head, which is a bit more subtle, but it's still pretty easy to catch. It's also almost impossible to cheat on land. So hard. The PCs are so clean.
We go back in game already. Nice.
You are ahead of me then by a few seconds.
I think so.
Yep. Yeah. You would have had to reset your stream.
30 and 10.
I'll call when I get there, don't you worry. 8, 9, and 10. Let's rock. As 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗥𝗕𝗥𝗏 is clearing out those Kruglets. Trying to get a little bit of gold back in this one. But have a look at the jungler level difference.
Well, that's going to happen with Graves in the winning team for sure. Graves has opted into Black Cleaver here and a little bit of safety afterwards. He's not the highest damage Graves we've ever seen, and damage is still a little bit of a concern. So far in team fights, Pan actually has contributed a lot of damage,
He's been doing
but his damage will fall off. So yeah, very good on performance. I'm still there is still a chance for 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 actually. 𝗘𝘀𝗽𝗏 has hit her items. She's very close to a third item.
I don't
That
think
will be
you
able
can
to
ever
pierce through all the
completely
MR.
write a level 16 Kayle off. But considering they've just lost an inhib with absolutely no contest, and they're going to rotate it into 2, even the Kayle window, it's not particularly open. It's not locked yet, but
yeah. She's very good at clearing out super minion waves, even against Baron, so at least that's going well for them. Cerberus seems to not want to go top lane. Top lane wave is very far away, so that's a good job for 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 preparing the wave in a good way, and like the shield there to prevent the stop from happening. You can definitely prevent everything from happening if you shield someone. You can even recall. So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, it has to take health bar damage to stop your recall.
Yep.
But here we go. The waves being cleared. The Nexus under siege. This is it. Will the heavens open? Like, this is very appropriate. We've got Cerberus versus Kayle. It's heaven v hell. Who comes out on top?
True.
Does that mean we have to support Buffalo? Because I'm pretty sure hell winning anything would not go well for humans. If we believe in it. If. I'm not saying, not giving my opinion. But yeah.
Well.
Let's find out. I think human race might be in a bit of trouble.
We don't know, right? we need to be neutral. So we have to. We can just observe. We're not here in our function as humans. We're just commentators. So
exactly. We are Casterbot 5000 and 5001. Here to bring you some VCS English action. It is the final inhib being broken. The double super minion waves are activated. And I can't think of many games where they've won after that.
Especially now, look at the timer, left corner of the screen. 40 seconds to the big objective that will win the game, no matter what, even against Kayle. That one is very conveniently coming up when all the first super minion waves will hit. So I like this push from 𝗏𝗏𝗏. He has teleport. He needs to get as much time as possible, buy as much time as possible, pushing out these super minion waves. And as you can see, Kayle has no problems whatsoever pushing those in.
Takes absolute
17 seconds.
10.
So
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on a vision journey.
Yado's trying to look for a pick.
They can't see the dragon. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been caught. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 through the stun out, and look at the follow-up damage. That might just be it. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's too low to come forward. Everyone on Cerberus is on full HP. There is still a tempered fate. The journey has closed. They're charging forward. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 throws it out. That is style caught. It's all he needed. Froggy gets knocked up. The Kayle ult is stacked with the stopwatch as well. A communication failure. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's got the first. And then it is Artemis picking up the second. They're charging forward. This should be it. This should be Cerberus taking this fight. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, try as he might, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 lives far too long. But it doesn't matter. As Cerberus, they might have lost their undefeated streak, but they will not lose 2. They will not lose a series. And the Buffalo's Nexus, here at 35 minutes, will explode.
Great fight for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and his team, though. They really try to topple this giant of our league. In the end, they fall 1-5. They fall once again, even after getting one game. Oh, a pretty free game in the first one, of course. But this was such a cool and fun game to watch. A lot of cool picks coming in from either team, and I feel like 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 lived up to their game 1 performance mostly, and showed us a better game than game 2. They really challenged Cerberus here, and Cerberus had to work pretty hard for the victory.
They did. It was a little bit of the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 show again, though. I don't think they've fully shown anything other than 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 carry us. But what's your take, Vinny?
I mean,
Style
you're correct. It was definitely 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's @𝗧𝗦 center stage there, but Froggy and 𝗕𝗬𝗠𝗃 definitely put up decent performances in the earlier to mid game. They were
I don't know if
kind of
𝗕𝗬𝗠𝗃
knocked
did.
around.
𝗕𝗬𝗠𝗃 ganking ganking pun was very stupid. Froggy, yeah.
I mean, yes, you can. He had that was
questionable.
That was a bit of an interesting decision. That first top lane dive was very, very rough for them. But for the most part, I think they played. They played decently. They weren't, carrying or anything, but they played all right.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an improvement. We can give them that credit very, very easily. That was a massive improvement for the Buffalo. The fact that they even pushed Cerberus to an Elder Drake spawning, not actually something many teams can say. And that was Cerberus' real team as well, so no asterisk on that one.
And his brawn play was actually very good once the laning phase was over, but in lane, there's not too much you can do against that comp, so...
It's true.
Now, if we could look onto Cerberus' side...
Everyone played...
Everyone played well.
We have to pick an MVP. It's hard, though, because...
Before we actually go on to the MVP...
I thought you were making a joke. Go ahead.
Yeah. Before we go on to the MVP, because we all know... We can... all know who that's going to be.
I genuinely thought you were making a joke. Please do make your analytical point. I didn't want to rush you.
Yeah, we do huge shout outs to Pun, the sub, who everyone played pretty well, but Pun was the second best player on the team this game. And in the last game, he was easily in contention for first best player on the team last game. So he has played excellently this series, even in that first game where it all went to hell. Yeah. So huge shout out to Pun. I would not be mad to see him starting over LL from now on, even though that is a big shame to LL, because LL has been performing very well.
I'm sorry. Yulwei is frozen on stream with a look of terror on his face. I'll fix that up. I don't know what's happened there. I'll fix that up. He was looking very spooked. There we go, fixed up. And I've accidentally put up our player of the series graphic. I apologize. We normally like to build up to that one, but I clicked the wrong button. Of course, 𝗕𝗏𝗃's player of the series, MVP for game 3 as well. That Bard performance was disgusting, honestly.
Otherworldly. He really lived up to his skin. He was an alien Bard. He was not human in this game.
That's very, very true. He was something otherworldly. And Cerberus, they may not be perfect on games anymore, though they're real players.
Oh, silly.
It was silly, but hey, maybe that takes some stress off. They are still undefeated in series, which is what really matters. Do we have anything more to say, lads, or are we happy to give a good night to another night of VCS action?
Bard OP. Can you please rename him to Bard OP?
I mean, does he ever get to play that again?
He shouldn't.
Maybe not, because he is disgusting on the champion. Unfortunately, he's got other picks that he's really good on. 𝗕𝗏𝗃, as it turns out, just a good player.
Turns out,
pretty good player.
As it turns out, he's just a pretty good support player, and we love to see it. But that will bring us to the end of another night of VCS action. We had fiestas, we had hard-won fights, but most importantly, we had fun. Thank you for joining us here on VCS English. I have been your host and play-by-play caster every day. With me has been my colour and analyst, Yulwei, and our dedicated analyst bringing you the big brain, Vinnie. Thanks for joining us once again. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place, to bring you more, including our match of the week, which will close the week out. Get excited for that one. I know I can't wait. If you can't wait and you want to talk about more VCS, scroll down below the stream. Join the Discord community. Come talk to us, talk to everyone, get some insight on what we think. And of course, there are some other things there. There's a donate button, a subscribe button, and a Patreon if you want to support us, though we never put any pressure. See you guys tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed the show.
tolerate their crimes again. Now